Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Sign into the main god space. Invincibility starts from Demon Slayer. Chapter 81. After Li Zan left, the two stood up. Big sister. Just as the younger brother was about to speak, he saw the girl whip her leg towards his stomach. Ah! The whip leg hit the younger brother's body, causing him to let out a cry of pain, and his body was like a bowed shrimp. I'm so angry. This girl has never been so angry before. This Li Zan is really a hateful guy. The girl said angrily. Then hit him. Why are you hitting me? In the end, the younger brother's words were swallowed in his throat and he didn't say it. After a while, he asked, then why are you so nice to him, eldest sister? It's to help with the ID card, to send him a place to live, and even we also gave him a mobile phone exclusive to our administration. This was not what I did when I first became a reincarnator and recruited me. I just had some strength and became a little arrogant at that time, so you just beat me half to death. Of course, these two sentences were not spoken. Because he's strong. The girl said angrily, you can beat me after the first plot world. If this newcomer doesn't die prematurely, he will definitely be great in the future. So we have to win over each other quickly now, otherwise you will see if this girl doesn't ask someone to beat him. Then classify him as a special reincarnation person. The younger brother agreed. If I want to be classified as a special reincarnation person, I will go to the leader to tell the truth tomorrow. It is my credit to find him. I have to make a lot of money to be worthy of the beating I received. The girl put on her sunglasses again, an air of dignity appeared on his face again. And me, eldest sister, don't forget me. The younger brother said quickly. Okay, I can't do without you. The girl raised her hand and patted her younger brother on the shoulder. Beep. Suddenly, a prompt sounded. The girl took out the touchscreen phone in her suit pocket, and what she sent was a message. I looked at the number briefly and found that it was the number of the mobile phone I gave away just now. She clicked on the message. By the way, I forgot to ask, what are the names of you two live treasures? Although you look quite silly, you are still quite friendly. The girl's face suddenly darkened. She gritted her teeth and pressed each word on the screen. My name is Lin Xiying, his name is Sasuke. Click to send the message. Okay, got it. Lin Xiying angrily stuffed her phone back and said, let's go. Ah, what about these? Sasuke hesitated after looking at the gangster who fainted from pain. I called an ambulance. That person was very measured in his actions. No one will die. It's just that the rest of his life will not be easy. Lin Xiying walked forward directly. Sasuke quickly followed. In the past 10 days, Li Zan has temporarily returned to his former real life. The residence arranged by Lin Xiying is in a high-end community with good facilities and transportation. Li Zan has never been in contact with the neighbors, so he doesn't know what to expect. However, Li Zan could occasionally smell something unusual when he turned on his sensitive sense of smell. So he felt that most of the people living here were not normal people, and most of them should be reincarnators. There are very few reincarnators wandering around in the community. They are eager to improve their strength and enhance their ability to survive. Therefore, the community is quite deserted, so Li Zan will go to the park to play and take a walk in the community like ordinary people. Today is the 15th day. It's time for An Miaoyi, as the captain, to know the next plot world. But when Li Zan took out the note given to him by the other party, he found that there was no mobile phone number on it. 405, Feiyu Community, 3rd Road, Yangchun Street, Wanmen City, Xinxing Province. This is the only address above. It's really detailed. But this Xinxing Province is quite far away from the province and city where I am. It's obviously a bit troublesome to find her. Then go and wait for her in the main god space. I'll wait a minute. Feiyu Community. Li Zan suddenly remembered that the community where he lived was also called Feiyu Community. Then asked Lin Xiying. Without hesitation, he picked up his cell phone and dialed Lin Xiying's number. Beep beep beep, beep. Someone picked up within a few seconds of ringing. Hello, a girl's sweet voice came from the phone. Have you registered a reincarnation named An Miaoyi over there? If so, please give me her mobile phone number. Thank you. Li Zan said quickly and directly. Quote. There was a long silence on the other side of the phone. Hello. Li Zan thought the signal was poor. Wait a minute. Lin Xiying's voice seemed a little low. After a while, Lin Xiying's voice sounded again. Yes, but for the sake of the privacy of reincarnators, we will not give you the mobile phone number directly, but we can make a transfer. Okay, Li Zan responded. Almost another minute passed. Hello, and Miaoyi's voice sounded from the other side. I am Li Zan, let me speak in the main god space first. Okay, and Miaoyi responded quickly. In an instant, both of them arrived in the main god space. But Lin Xiying, who was at the Samsara Management Bureau branch, was so angry that she asked me to just forget about doing things and not even listen to what I had to say. She is very, very curious as to why she has such strong strength just after passing through a plot world. What's the next plot world? Li Zan asked and Miaoyi. And Miaoyi shook her head and replied, I haven't read it yet. The next moment, she immediately communicated with the Lord God to inquire. Naruto, she said to Li Zan the next second she got the answer. Oh haha, Naruto. In the animation knowledge signed by Li Zan, Naruto also occupies a large space. One scene after another, one character after another, and one setting after another passed through Li Zan's mind. It should be interesting. Li Zan thinks so. I heard that Naruto has a very high level in this world, and many reincarnations have experienced it. I will buy some relevant information in the future. And Miaoyi said. Yeah, Li Zan didn't care whether he bought the information or not. After all, he already roughly understood most of the things in the Naruto world. It doesn't matter even if the main god may make some magic changes, the basic system will not change no matter what. Then I'm leaving first. I'm going to tell Yaya about the plot world and make some preparations. And Miaoyi said goodbye. Leave your mobile phone number first, otherwise it will be troublesome to find you next time. Li Zan said. Ah, right, and Miaoyi also remembered that she didn't leave her mobile phone number for the other party. So and Miaoyi read out the mobile phone number, and Li Zan saved it on his mobile phone. And Miaoyi turned into white light and returned to the real world in the next moment. Li Zan is the only one left in the main god space. Lord God, teleport to Samsara Square. Li Zan thought in his heart. It's Li Zan's plan to go to the main god space to ask about the next plot world, and then go to the Samsara Square to stroll around. He will spend the remaining 15 days tinkering in the main god space. The scene suddenly changes, from extreme emptiness to boiling excitement. Bright space, clean stone paths, surging crowds. Most reincarnations hide their bodies and faces so as not to reveal their identity. There are people who don't make any cover-up, but they are very few. Li Zan, who doesn't make any cover-up and looks like he is going shopping in casual clothes, also looks a bit outstanding. The roads are lined with carpets, and merchandise is placed on the carpets. The reincarnations acting as customers and merchants communicate back and forth to discuss prices, and the sounds of hawking are endless. There are even some reincarnations who have set up shops, running their own forging shops, healing potions, and skill book sales shops. Newcomer. A stall owner closer to Li Zan asked Li Zan. With his strong body and rough voice, people can instantly imagine the image of a strong man. Yeah, Li Zan didn't hide it and nodded directly. I suggest you cover yourself up and be more careful. The stall owner suggested kindly. Didn't those people not cover themselves up? Li Zan looked at 3 uncovered men wearing blood-red armor standing at a certain stall with big swords hanging from their waists. They are members of the second team of the Scarlet Knights of Wajo. They are powerful and not many people dare to provoke them, so it doesn't matter if they don't cover it up. But it's different for you as a newcomer. Be careful if someone has ill intentions towards you. The strong man said. The Lord was enthusiastic and patiently explained. When I was a rookie, the senior members of the team didn't tell me, so I suffered a loss because I didn't understand this. I was blocked in reality. The stall owner was obviously a little sad when he thought about his experience when he was a newcomer. Reality is blocked. The Reincarnation Management Bureau doesn't care. And you can't directly return to the main god space? Li Zan asked doubtfully. The administration of reincarnators doesn't care about the affairs between the reincarnators. It just doesn't involve most ordinary people. Returning to the main god space requires concentration and thought. There are specially developed dispersing spirits among the reincarnators to prevent them from concentrating. God's tool. The stall owner recalled. That time I had no choice but to lose money to eliminate the disaster. Fortunately, the other party was a relatively honest reincarnation robber and spared my life. That's really pitiful. Although he said that, there was no wave on Lizon's face. Then why don't you come to my stall and buy a pair of clothes that hide your face and body? The strong man's stall owner changed the topic and suddenly started selling the products on his stall. I won't buy it, Lizon responded indifferently. Don't say that yet. Look at this mask. It's handsome. It also masks your breath. Look at this black robe. It's cool. It's handsome. It's mysterious. A mask with 1000 reincarnation points adds 2000 reincarnations. The point-based robe only counts towards your jumping price of 1500 reincarnation points. Hey, don't leave, little brother. I can even give you a 10% discount. What the brawny stall owner said just now was not a lie, Lizon could tell. It is true that I was blocked and robbed, and it is also true that I just wanted to sell something. Lizon didn't intend to buy it, nor did he intend to cover himself up. Although he doesn't like to attract attention, he doesn't like to be secretive either. So I just left like this. Walking on the road in the square, Lizon's outfit inevitably attracted a lot of attention. After all, other people who don't cover up at least wear some equipment or something to show their identity so that the reincarnation bandits don't dare to target them, but he is the only one like Lizon who just wears casual clothes and wanders around. However, this was too unscrupulous and aroused the fear of the reincarnation bandits secretly. Pretending to be such a newbie. Playing fishing and law enforcement. There must be a pitfall. Don't jump. Lizon kept wandering around many stalls and saw many interesting things. Unknown devil fruit. Introduction. It can bring powerful abilities. Depending on your luck, you may randomly get an invincible and powerful ability like the natural system. Price. 10,000 reincarnation points, B-level plot reward X1. Note. It tastes very bad. If you encounter seawater, you will lose strength and cannot use your abilities. If you randomly get bad abilities, please do not come to me to settle the score. Become a giant's bone marrow fluid. Introduction. After injection, you can turn into a tall giant with extremely powerful strength, but you will lose your mind, so you need to optimize and restore your mind at the Lord God. Price. 2000 reincarnation points, C-level plot reward X1. Remarks. No remarks. Death Note page. Introduction. When someone's appearance appears in your mind, write down that person's name, and you will die according to the death method you wrote at the time you wrote. If the death method is not specified, it will default to cardiac paralysis. Price. 10,000 reincarnation points, B-level plot reward X1. Note. This can only be done to people, and it can only be done to ordinary people. There may be other rules. After the sale, there will be no refunds. Medicine for rebirth of broken limbs. Introduction. A severed limb can be reborn, but rebirth will be accompanied by unbearable pain. Price. 2000 reincarnation points. Note. It is recommended to use it with anesthetics, otherwise it will hurt to death, literally. Many things seemed weird and interesting to Lizon, and most of them were things Lizon had seen in anime. For example, the devil fruit from One Piece. For example, Lizon didn't expect that the bone marrow fluid from Attack on Titan that turned into a brainless giant could be sold. According to the description of the stall owner, this is not the power of the 9 giants, but a terrifying thing that permanently turns people into brainless and deformed giants that can eat people. It can only be said that the Lord God is omnipotent. Even the sanity of the brainless giant can be optimized back, but it should always look like a deformed giant. After all, these are the benefits it brings, and it would be meaningless if they were all optimized. After walking around the square for a while, Lizon felt that he couldn't go on shopping anymore, so he bought a few things that he liked and went back. For example, the potion for regeneration of severed limbs was bought by Lizon. He didn't use it himself because he was transformed into a ghost, but he always felt that this kind of healing item could most likely be used on plot characters, so he bought it. It's pretty cheap anyway. Lizon's current reincarnation points are extremely terrifying even for second-stage reincarnators, and even the S-level plot rewards he holds may not be available to even the top elite reincarnators. 15 days passed like a blink of an eye. The day has come when we enter the world of drama. And Miaoyi and Luo Yaya were all present. There are no new people entering this plot mission. After everyone made their own preparations, and Miaoyi, the captain, said loudly, "Lord God, teleport. Enter the Naruto world of camp confrontation." The three of them suddenly turned into a burst of white light. Scene changes. The gurgling water washes the rocks, the insects chirp loudly at night, and the moonlight shines on everything. This is a cliff waterfall in a dense forest. Suddenly, a group of people landed on various large rocks in different batches. 12 people wearing bright red armor with swords hanging on their waists. 9 boys and 3 girls. 7 people in black robes, 4 men and 3 women. 2 rugged men and 5 people hiding behind. And Miaoyi, Luo Yaya and Li Zan formed a team of 3. There are 4 teams and 29 people in total. Appearing here means that all the reincarnations present will be of the same camp. No one spoke first, they were all looking at each other. The next moment, the Lord God's mission information suddenly appeared in his mind. Main mission. Participated in the Konoha Chunin examination many years later, maintained the conduct of the Chunin examination, and won the title of Chunin. Reward. 10,000 reincarnation points. You can return after completing the main mission. Time limit. None. Side mission. Not started. Note. This mission is a camp mission, and the reincarnators from the other camp will enter the story world 1 year before the Chunin exam. Each time you kill an ordinary reincarnator in the enemy camp, you will receive 1,000 reincarnation points. Each time you kill an elite reincarnator of the enemy camp, you will receive 10,000 reincarnation points, and AC level plot reward x1. It seems that the reincarnators in the other camp will be very strong. After reading the message, Li Zan couldn't help but think about it in his mind. The reincarnations of the enemy camp will only enter the plot world a year before the Chunin examination, while the people of the own camp have already entered the plot world a few years ago. In comparison, it gives a few more years of development time, and many more opportunities for the reincarnations of one's own camp to build momentum in the plot world. There is only one reason why the main god would do this. That is, the reincarnators in the other camp are too strong. I just want to use this method to balance the strength of the two camps as much as possible. All the reincarnations present are not fools. Naturally, they are very aware of this fact, so they all have solemn expressions on their faces. The 5 timid people behind the 2 strong men were even more trembling, with faces showing fear. Everyone, please state your team name first. We are the Scarlet Knights of the second team of Wajo. The captain is me, Lu Zhonghe. After a long time, a middle-aged man with a calm expression walked out of the 12 people wearing bright red armor and said to the other reincarnations. 7 people in black robes led a handsome young man in front of them and said, "Zhongzhou Team 7, the captain is me, Wu Hongxin." And Miaoyi glanced at Li Zan and found that the other party had no intention of speaking at all, so she spoke herself, "Zhongzhou 4th team, the captain is me, and Miaoyi. Team 4 of Zhongzhou." One of the 2 strong men cast his gaze on and Miaoyi, "Where's that Wu Qing? How come you, a fool like you, have become the captain to speak?" Obviously, their team has encountered the 4 Zhongzhou teams before. And judging from the ups and downs of his voice and the unruly look on his face, it was obvious that he had been conflicted. "No," Li Zan asked casually. "There used to be hostile camps. They were a breeding team and treated newcomers like lambs. There used to be 3 leaders in the team, but one of them was killed by the previous captain." And Miaoyi responded in a low voice. "Oh," Li Zan said he understood. Ji Yu Zhonghe from the Scarlet Knights frowned when he saw the interruption from the strong man, and continued, "We'll talk about any grudges later. Let's introduce our team first." The Scarlet Knights are quite famous among ordinary reincarnators, and the 2 strong men of the breeding team did not ignore their words. "Jizhou 5 Scorpion Team, I am the captain, the murderer." The strong man with tattoos on his face showed his shining white teeth and said a title that was obviously not his real name. "I'm a team member, a murderer." Another strong man also spoke, showing a happy smile. Ji Yu Zhonghe frowned. He wants to serve as a leader to unify his own camp, so as to exert greater power to deal with the powerful reincarnations of the hostile camp that will arrive in a few years. The Scorpion team is a well-known breeding team in the circle of ordinary reincarnations, and their combat power must be concentrated on the murderer and the murderer. But these two people are not easy to control at first glance. This made him a little embarrassed. The name of our Scarlet Knights must be well known to everyone, Kotadaga said slowly. Most of the reincarnations present nodded. The Scarlet Knights have achieved good results in many plot worlds with their coordinated abilities, unified will and excellent formation. Completely made his name. Seeing all the reincarnations nodding, Ji Zhonghe couldn't help but feel more confident. I think we should work together in this plot world. Judging from the purchase information, this world is a high-level world, and the reincarnators who will enter the hostile camp in a few years are definitely not weak. In order to survive and achieve greater results, we should work together. Quote. He spoke with passion and passion. I have to say that what Ji Zhonghe said does make some sense. When one's own camp is clearly weaker than the others, it is definitely a very wise thing to unite. But after all, it is difficult for things to happen as expected. Sorry, we refuse. Wu Hongxin of Zhongzhou Team 7 was the first to reject Ji Zhonghe's proposal. Although the players behind him had some tempting suggestions, they still did not make any move out of trust in their captain. If you want to unite, you must have a leader. If the leader lets me, I will unite, hehehehe. The murderer chuckled. I want to be one too, haha. Murderer echoed with a smile. Ji Zhonghe's face twitched slightly, his eyes moved to Miaoyi, and asked, what are your opinions? And Miaoyi shook her head under his gaze. It means that his team is not united either. The fourth team of Zhongzhou was cheated in the previous camp joint mission, so she would not easily join forces with other teams again. After all, even if they are from the same camp, there will be no punishment for killing each other's main gods. Then let's go our separate ways, Ji Zhonghe said with a hint of anger. He was a little angry because his good intentions were treated like a donkey, and he was not in the mood to communicate anymore, so he led the 11 team members and walked out of the dense forest. The team of 7 people in black robes also left immediately. Want to come together, Li Zan? And Miaoyi asked Li Zan. In her heart, she still hopes that the other party will agree. Even though she has improved a lot in strength due to the ghost transformation, the gap in strength between her and Li Zan is still too big. She doesn't even know how far behind she is. Moreover, after Miaoyi passed the optimization of the Lord God, although her characteristics of fear of sunlight and cannibalism were eliminated, her recovery ability was greatly reduced. After being hacked to death more than a dozen times, it would be difficult for her to recover. No, Li Zan refused directly. He couldn't be bothered to be the nanny of the reincarnation. The mission stated that there were still several years until the Chunin examination, but it did not specify when it was now, so Li Zan wanted to find out what time it was now. Then see what interesting things you can do depending on the time. As for the reincarnations from the hostile camp, in the past few years, Li Zan himself will definitely not fail to get in touch with the signing ability of powerful guys. When the other party comes, I don't know how strong my own strength will be. So Li Zan didn't have any worries in his heart. Okay. And Miaoyi was a little disappointed, but that was all. Then Miaoyi and Luo Yaya prepared to leave. Hey, don't leave yet. Suddenly, murder and murderer blocked Miaoyi's way of leaving with smiles on their faces. What are you going to do? And Miaoyi's face was cold, and Luo Yaya also looked at them warily. You're not a fool, don't you know what we want to do? The murderer made a gesture, and the trembling people came over one by one and surrounded Li Zan and others. It looks like the 2 troublesome guys Wu Qing and Wang Luji of your Zhongzhou 4th team were killed suddenly. The murderer took out a hook blade from the space accessory and kept dancing in his hand. There were just 2 pretty good-looking women and a new guy in the same team, and it happened that the other teams had already left. The smile on his face became a little ferocious. Who will die if you don't die? Hehehehe. And Miaoyi frowned and took out a staff from the space ring, while Luo Yaya behind him took out a knife. What can reincarnations in the same camp gain from fighting each other? Li Zan suddenly asked Miaoyi. And Miaoyi was stunned for a moment. The enemy was in front of her, but she didn't expect that the other party suddenly spoke to her. In Miaoyi's impression of Li Zan, if someone from the Scorpion team took action against herself and Yaya, the other party would probably not help. Because he has nothing to do with himself and Yaya. There was nothing that could save him. Just because we are in the same team, the other party will save us. And Miaoyi doesn't think so. The senior members of the fourth team in Zhongzhou will abandon the newcomers when they do not perform well in the first plot world. What kind of team camaraderie? At least not right now. The situation of informing the main god of space information has been dissipated by the other party saving him once. Li Zan, who has a cold personality, probably won't get involved. Basically, you can't get anything, and space accessories are bound to individuals. Even if you take out the items, you can take back the space accessories with a thought, so you basically won't get anything by killing people in the same camp. Even so. And Miaoyi also explained. Is that so? Li Zan pondered slightly, seeing that Miaoyi still had time to talk to the newcomers in his team under such circumstances. The murderer couldn't help but have a morbid thought of explaining his purpose. We don't want to kill you. I want to capture you alive and trade with the reincarnations who will come in the future. If you sell them to them and kill them, you will be valuable. Hey, the murderer continued. Ah, I thought you wanted revenge. Li Zan said calmly as he looked at the two strong men. Revenge, the murderer sneered. The idiot died and we both were very happy. We can get less reincarnation points. Ha ha ha. Don't worry, before we trade with the reincarnations from the enemy camp, we will let you two women be played by those who want to play in this story world. It won't be wasted. You, a newcomer, look pretty tender. Maybe some people also like it. Hee hee. The smile on the murderer's face bloomed like a chrysanthemum, looking very vulgar. Hearing the other party's arrogant words, and Miaoyi and Luo Yaya tightened their hearts. The opponent is a powerful breeding team, and Miaoyi feels that even with her ghostly strength, she can only compete with one of them, but in this case Yaya will be in danger. After Yaya is defeated, I'm afraid I won't be able to escape. She was quietly prepared to bite the other person even if she died. However, this kind of psychological preparation quietly gave up at the next moment. Because Li Zan spoke. So why did you take me with you? Li Zan looked at the two strong men opposite him indifferently and spoke calmly. Why do you think it is? The murderer said with a smile, and the hook blade dancing in his hand suddenly flew out and flew towards Li Zan's arm, as if to cut off his arm. Martial arts. Whirling hook blade. The murderer watched the hook blade fly out at extremely high speed with an arrogant smile on his face. He couldn't wait to see the hook blade cut off the opponent's arm, blood splattering, and the opponent howling in pain. But the next moment, the expression on his face seemed frozen. It's not good to throw things away. Li Zan said calmly, holding the hook blade with 5 fingers. What's going on? The murderer on the side felt that something was wrong. The murderer didn't answer. His face was gloomy, and the power in his body was moving. Li Zan felt that the hook blade in his hand was being pulled by a force, trying to get out of his control. But as soon as Li Zan's hand exerted a little more force, the force of the hook blade flying back was immediately stopped, and the blade body was stuck in Li Zan's fingers. The murderer's face turned red, and he was obviously using all his strength. The murderer on the side felt his heart skip a beat when he saw his partner looking like this, feeling that something had really happened. But no matter how the murderous maniac exerted his power, the hook blade was still stuck in Li Zan's fingers and did not move at all. Are you kidding me? The murderer yelled angrily with veins on his face bulging. And Miaoyi and Luo Yaya stared blankly at what was happening, sighing in their hearts at how powerful and incredible this new member of their team was. Li Zan felt that the power of the hook blade in his hand increased again, and then he said indifferently, "Since you want it, I'll give it back to you." The next moment, the hook blade in his hand was thrown back towards the murderer. It's just that the hook blade's return speed is obviously too fast and its power is too huge. Feeling that the hook blade was coming back, the murderer did not feel the slightest happiness or joy. Instead, his expression changed drastically, and he wanted to avoid the speeding hook blade. But his speed was not as fast as the hook blade's revolving speed, and the hook blade penetrated his chest directly. As a result, the hook blade was nailed to a towering tree, firmly embedded in the root of the tree. PFF'd. The murderer suddenly spit out a large mouthful of blood, his eyes gradually blurred, and he fell straight down the rock and into the flowing water. The hook blade penetrated his chest and shattered his entire heart. There was no possibility of survival. Just die. Everyone present was filled with disbelief. You piggies, get on me. The next moment, the murderer suddenly yelled. The members of the breeding team surrounding Li Zan and others immediately rushed towards Li Zan and others. Their expressions were frightened, and their bodies were being manipulated like puppets. They took out knives from their arms and moved their limbs in an animalistic manner to attack. While letting the pigs attack, the murderer flashed his body and ran deep into the dense forest. He realized how powerful and terrifying Li Zan was, and he didn't dare to stay here any longer. Yaya! And Miaoyi shouted to Luo Yaya. Luo Yaya understood the idea and blocked the attacking puppets within Miaoyi at the same time. Li Zan felt that it didn't matter if he didn't block, after all, he couldn't hit him. At this time, the murderer had already jumped into the depths of the dense forest, and was blocked by many big trees, making it impossible to see where he was. If you can't run away, why bother? Li Zan thought indifferently. The next moment, a sun blade suddenly appeared in his hand. Sensitive sense of smell is activated. The smell of the swift murderer flooded into his nose. Here, Li Zan found that the other party did not run forward without hesitation. Instead, after running a certain distance, he found a big tree and dug a hole at the top of the tree's roots to hide in. Very smart, he thought. Breath of mist. A faint mist escaped from the corners of his mouth. Ghost transformation. Vampire magic pulling threads. End of ghost transformation. In order to prevent the Nichiren sword from being difficult to retrieve after throwing it away, he specially turned on the ghost transformation and led a silver thread to the Nichiren sword. Next, Li Zan flicked his arm, and the sun blade with a silver thread attached to the end dispersed mist and turned into a stream of light and struck straight out. The stream of light directly penetrates the roots of the big trees blocking the way. It should be fine. The murderer hid in the closed tree roots, trying his best to hide his breath, and cold sweat continued to seep from his forehead. Why is there a monster in the fourth team of Jonjo? His heart was turbulent and he was cursing angrily. I must avoid the fourth Jonjo team from now on, I must. Whoosh! A sound broke through the air suddenly. What? His mind was fixed on this. The sun blade penetrated his head, and a ball of yellow and white material burst out. Died. Li Zan judged from the feeling transmitted by the silver wire that the Sun Lune sword hit the target accurately. Take back. The silver thread is pulled back. A few seconds later, Yinsi flew back with the Nichiren sword. Why is it so dirty? Li Zan saw the yellow and white stuff on the Sun Lune knife and felt a little dirty, so he threw the Sun Lune knife into the running water and rinsed it. After the Nichiren sword was clean, he took it back into the space ring. The operator died, and the pigs in the breeding team finally regained their freedom. They cried bitterly and kowtowed to Li Zan and the others, thanking them for their rescue. And Miaoyi and Luo Yaya did not kill them all. Let's go. Li Zan ignored him and disappeared after saying one sentence. When he turned on his sensitive sense of smell just now, he smelled the smell of human blood and strange people in some other direction. Not from reincarnation, so he decided to go and have a look. After Li Zan left, and Miaoyi looked at the direction in which he disappeared and sighed inexplicably. How easy it would be if she could really become teammates with him. He is obviously just a newcomer who has just experienced a story world. Sister Miaoyi, Luo Yaya asked in confusion, seeing in Miaoyi's somewhat absent-minded look. It's okay. And Miaoyi rubbed Luo Yaya's head and said, let's go. According to the information I bought, if we want to complete the main mission, we must first find a ninja village to join. Yeah, Luo Yaya nodded. This is. Li Zan looked at the ninjas who were constantly releasing ninjutsu on the water and dueling with several Anbu from a certain ninja village opposite, with blood-red eyes and 3 Magatama, and he couldn't help but think of a name in his heart. Uchiha Shisui. The current Uchiha Shisui is obviously still in his childhood, with a petite body. But even so, the fight with several adult ninjas was back and forth. Judging from Shisui's current age, it seems that there are more than a few years left until the Chunin exams. Sitting on the branch, Li Zan supported his chin with his hand and thought. It seems that the reincarnations who will come 1 year before the Chunin exam are not ordinary powerful. Why give such a long buffer time? Is it because of me? Li Zan thought. It doesn't matter, just try to sign in anyway. He no longer thought about the reincarnation, and concentrated on watching the fight between Shisui and the ninja, just like watching a drama. I have to say that the duel between ninjas is really gorgeous. You come and go, ninjutsu mixed with physical skills, especially the difference in strength between the two parties is not big, which gave Li Zan a good visual experience. It's like watching a special effects fight movie. Quite enjoyable. In the battlefield, Shisui fought 1 against 3, and the teleportation technique combined with the shadow clone kept him from falling behind at all. Oh, something happened. Li Zan saw a ninja being deceived by a flaw that Shisui sold. In an instant, Shisui seized the opportunity and scratched his neck with a kunai. The 3 of them suddenly lost 1 person. The pressure on the remaining 2 ninjas increased dramatically. Gradually, their attack and defense began to fall apart, and they eventually followed the footsteps of the previous ninja. So strong. He is truly an Uchiha genius. Li Zan couldn't help but admire Zishui's strength in his heart. The 3 ninjas on the opposite side were not much lower than Shisui, but they were still killed. Sharingan. Li Zan looked at Shisui Magatama's blood-red eyes and suddenly became a little interested. How about signing the double Sharingan? Before he could continue his thoughts, a line of sight fell on him in vain. Zishui suddenly turned his head and looked towards the branch where Li Zan was. Did you notice it? It's so sensitive. The corners of Li Zan's mouth raised slightly. He and Shisui just looked at each other for a while. The next moment, Shisui flicked his hand, and a sharp kunai flew towards Li Zan. Li Zan's expression did not change, his body did not move at all, and he allowed the kunai to fly towards him. Then, it flew straight over Li Zan's face and continued flying backwards. He understood from the moment Shisui took action that this kunai was just a simple deterrent. Who? Li Zan heard Zishui's questioning voice. Shisui didn't see any ninja village forehead protector tied to Li Zan's forehead, so he didn't know the other person's position and identity. Not an enemy. Suddenly, Li Zan's figure disappeared from the branch, and a voice appeared behind Shisui and touched his shoulder. Sign in. What a fast speed. Zishui was shocked. Without hesitation, he formed the seal. The instantaneous body technique was activated, and his figure suddenly appeared in another direction. Sign in successfully. Congratulations on obtaining Uchiha Shisui's Sharingan, 3 Magatama, the special blood inheritance limit of the Uchiha family, with powerful abilities such as observation, copying, and hypnosis. The holder has extraordinary insight and can observe the flow of chakra, and can cast and see through illusions, copying physical techniques and non-blood inheritance limited ninjutsu. This is Uchiha Shisui's Sharingan. When the Mangekyo Sharingan is opened, you will gain the same abilities as Uchiha Shisui. Who? Shisui emphasized again, holding a kunai, looking nervous and extremely alert. Don't be so nervous, Li Zan said with a slight smile. The next moment, his eyes changed in vain, from ordinary eyes to 3 Magatama blood-red eyes that were constantly rotating like Uchiha Shisui. Plain words came out of Li Zan's mouth. I am a member of your exile tribe. Tribes living outside the country. When he heard what the other person said, Shisui didn't believe it, but after seeing the 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes turning in the other person's eyes, his suspicion eased slightly. He did not doubt that Li Zan's Sharingan was transplanted. Because he knew that without Uchiha's blood, the transplanted Sharingan would not be able to close or open freely. And he had already seen the scene where the other party's ordinary eyes were transformed into Sharingan. So Shisui felt in his heart that the other party was indeed from the Uchiha family. But even so, he did not relax his vigilance. The other party's position is not yet clear, so we should not let down our guard rashly. What do you want to do? Shisui asked. Go back to the Uchiha family. Li Zan said bluntly. Shisui thought in his mind. If it is a clan member, there is no problem in bringing it back to the family. But I am afraid that it may be a spy from other ninja villages. But let's take it back and let the people in the village judge it. If you don't have a special purpose, you can return to the family. If you have a bad purpose, the people in the village will stop it. Don't think so much. You should be able to see that I'm stronger than you. If you had any ill intentions, you wouldn't be standing here intact. Li Zan looked at Shisui, who was deep in thought, and said calmly. Innocent heart activates. The skill I learned from Tanjiro in making others reinforce the sincerity and credibility of my words finally came in handy. He has a point. Listening to the other party's words, Shisui couldn't help but think so in his heart. Then he put the kunai back into his bag and said to Li Zan, "Follow me, I will take you back." Li Zan and Ji Shui walked through the dense forest. Shisui used the standard ninja jumping forest posture, and Li Zan also became interested and imitated him to run like a gourd. Although the posture was very non-standard, his speed was not slower than Shisui. Uchiha. When Li Zan was on his way, his peripheral vision fell on Shisui. With Shisui's current body shape and the Sharingan that hasn't yet activated the Mangekyu, it should be some time before Uchiha attempts to launch a coup and is destroyed. So when is it now? The third ninja war, it should be. Li Zan's mind was spinning, and he slightly judged Naruto's current time point. Then stay in Uchiha for a while first. Let's sign in the chakra first and then talk about it. In this way, he decided on his next course of action. After about 10 minutes of traveling, Li Zan followed Shisui to a gathering point. Shisui, the ninja who was standing outside the gathering point and acted as a spy, saw Shisui saying hello, and then saw the unidentified Li Zan behind him and asked, "Who is he?" According to what he encountered during the mission, he was a member of the tribe living outside the country. Shisui responded, "A person living outside." The ninja acting as an eyeshadow frowned. "We Uchiha don't have people living outside, unless they are defected clan members." Obviously, this ninja also belongs to the Uchiha family. Rather, this gathering point should be filled with people from the Uchiha family. Ever since the Kyuubi caused chaos in Konoha a few months ago and the death of the fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato, the Uchiha family, although they are a member of Konoha, have been separated from other Konoha families and ninjas. Because only the Sharingan can control the Kyuubi so far, this has to make people suspicious of the Uchiha family. Therefore, most of the gathering points of the Uchiha family are members of the Uchiha family. "I am not from any ninja village," Li Zan said to the ninja with eyes. The eyes also turned into 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes in an instant, confirming that he was a member of the Uchiha family. He has no chakra in his body now, and he is maintaining the Sharingan state only by physical strength. However, his body is terrifying and he has a lot of physical strength, so even if he drives for a few hours, it is not a problem. The ninja couldn't help but be a little surprised when he saw the 3 Magatama turning in Li Zan's eyes. Nowadays, there are not many Uchiha clansmen who can open their Sharingan to the 3rd Magatama. Most of the clansmen of his age maintain the state of the 1st and 2nd Magatama Sharingan. But someone like Shisui who has opened 3 Magatama Sharingan at this age can be said to be an absolute genius of Uchiha. "He is much stronger than me," Shisui said at this time. He saw that Li Zan's speed was far higher than his own, and he didn't even see the trajectory of the opponent's chakra flow, which meant that the opponent achieved such speed with pure physical skills, so in Shisui's heart, the judgment of Li Zan's strength is very high. But in fact, Shisui overestimated Li Zan because he had no chakra at all. The eyesight ninja was surprised again. He was much stronger than Shisui. Now that Shisui has made a name for himself in the war, he is called Shunsui Shisui, which is a special Junin level of strength. Being much stronger than Shisui means that he must be at least a Jonin. The Sharingan of the 3 Magatama is opened, and you have strength and talent. As long as he is not a spy or does not defect due to a serious crime, the family should also accept him. So, he let down his guard a little and said to Shisui and Li Zan, "Go in and find the Junin who leads the team first." After he let him go, Li Zan followed Shisui to outside a tent. "Are you here, Mr. Xuanwo?" Shisui called to the tent. "Shisui." A steady voice came from the tent, and then a middle-aged man with a resolute face walked out. "Who is this?" Uchiha Xuanwo asked, staring at Li Zan. He clearly remembered the faces of everyone in the gathering point, but not Li Zan's. Shisui repeated his previous words again, and Li Zan also showed his Sharingan again. "Is that so?" Uchiha Xuanwo looked at Li Zan's face carefully, and then said, "He is not a defected clan member. He is now in his 40s, and is considered relatively old in the Uchiha family. At least in his memory, there is no face like Li Zan among the Uchiha defectors. But he is indeed a member of our clan. Uchiha Xuanwo looked at Li Shuangxi's rotating 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes and concluded, let's bring them back to the village together later. If they are really exiled clan members, they have to return to the family. Because Li Zan also possesses the Sharingan, Uchiha Xuanwo did not use the Sharingan's hypnosis method to impose illusions on Li Zan. After all, Li Zan's Sharingan can also see through illusions and break illusions. Of course, if Uchiha Itachi were to use the powerful illusion, Tsukuyomi, obtained by opening the Mangekyo Sharingan in the future to Li Zan, I'm afraid it would be a failure based on the current Li Zan. After all, his current mental resistance is not strong. Moreover, in Li Zan's estimation, his current normal combat power is probably at the edge of a Junin. Even if he turns on his markings, he should only be able to reach the middle and lower level of a Jonin. If he further turns on the ghost transformation, he should be able to reach the top of the Junin level. The level is similar to Kakashi, who did not have a kaleidoscope in the midterm. Furthermore, relying on the immortality characteristic, he might be able to fight against the lowest level cage level experts, but that's it at most. The gap in combat power between Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba and Naruto's world is still quite large. The top strength signed from Demon Slayer is destined to be unable to control the world of Naruto. However, Li Zan is still very popular with his strength at this stage, and he should be taken seriously even by the Uchiha family. After all, it is now the Third Ninja War, and it is still a period of tension with Konoha. Ordinary Junin are already a very important combat force. However, even if they agreed to take Li Zan back to Konoha, they did not completely trust Li Zan and arranged for a ninja to monitor him. It's just that Li Zan didn't pay much attention to it at all, and he always looked for Uchiha Xuanwo once every day. The ninjas who were monitoring Li Zan didn't know what he was going to do, and Uchiha Xuanwo didn't even know what it meant for this exiled tribesman to come over and shake hands with him every day. After shaking hands, he just left without even a word of greeting. He was really confused, but no matter how hard they think, they won't think that every time Li Zan shakes hands with Uchiha Xuanwo, it is to sign in and obtain his skills. There is no other way. Shisui has to go on a mission, and at this stage, only Uchiha Genha, the Jonin, has the highest strength in this gathering place. The other Uchiha ninjas are all useless. If he doesn't sign in, who else will sign in? Although the difference between Uchiha Xuanwo and Uchiha Madara Senju Hashirama that Li Zan expected to sign is more than 1.5 points, for Li Zan, who has just entered this world, the effect of signing on to improve his strength is still quite big. For example, Fire Chakra, Junin level, it is an energy produced by the human body controlling the organic combination of various component energies. It is the source of material energy for performing ninjutsu, illusion, and taijutsu, and its chakra attribute is fire. Most Uchiha people have fire attribute chakra, so Li Zan naturally signed up for this thing. Fire release. Fireball technique. Chakra gathers behind the throat and spits a huge fireball forward from the mouth. Fire release Phoenix fire technique. Fireballs are spit out continuously from the mouth. The attack trajectory is like the fruit of the phoenix flower. The trajectory of the fireball can be controlled using chakra. Substitution technique. A disruptive technique that quickly replaces the body with a wooden board at the moment of attack, making the opponent think that the attack was successful. This is a practical basic ninjutsu that can also be learned in ninja schools. Shadow clone technique. Use chakra to create physical clones. They can move and fight like the caster. They have consciousness independent of the caster's body and a certain ability to resist attacks. After being released, the clone's memory and experience will remain. Return to the body. Within 10 days, Li Zan signed in many useful things, which fully made up for Li Zan's ability system in the Naruto world. Chakra, ninjutsu. Although after more than 10 days, I haven't accumulated much ninjutsu, but it's already pretty good. After all, you can learn a ninjutsu with just one touch. What kind of bicycle do you need? Today, Shisui returned from his mission. After returning, everyone in the gathering place was summoned by Uchiha Xuanwo. This ninja war is over, Uchiha Xuanwo said from the high platform. It's over. Li Zan was a little confused. He thought it was only the middle of the Third Ninja War. His head turned quickly, and the history of Konoha was floating in Li Zan's mind. If we go by what Uchiha Xuanwo said, the Third Ninja War is now over, which means it is Konoha's 51st year. The Nine Tails Rebellion just happened not long ago. Lee Zan knew very well that the Nine Tails Rebellion was an important symbol of the end of the Third Ninja War. Under the control of Uchiha Obito, the Kyuubi wreaked havoc on Konoha, and the fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato and his wife died. Because of this, all of Konoha's strategic advantages in winning the Third Ninja War were basically lost. But now Naruto has just been born. He is still far away from the Chunin exams that he will participate in more than 10 years later, let alone the Konoha collapse plan, initiated by Orochimaru during the Chunin exams. More than 10 years. After confirming the current time, Lee Zan couldn't help but feel a little surprised by this time. 5 years was long enough for Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba last time, and now there is a mission that will take more than 10 years to start. Maybe other reincarnations would regard other Chunin exams in the past 10 years as the Chunin exams mentioned in the mission, but Lee Zan is a person who understands the overall situation, and naturally knows that the Chunin exams mentioned in the mission can only be Naruto. There was no way anything could go wrong in that Chunin examination. In the future, we may have to wait hundreds of years for a mission to begin. Lee Zan suddenly thought of it. But he was too lazy to think about it so much. After all, as long as he turned into a ghost, there was no possibility of him dying of old age. At most, he would be weak, but because he had a sign-in system, he couldn't be weak. And for him, there is no difference between living in the plot world and living in the real world. Neither is his own world. He has long taken it lightly and just wants to be happy. After Uchiha Schwanwo made some general remarks, he asked everyone to pack their things and prepare to return to the village. Shisui, Zan, come here. Uchiha Schwanwo suddenly called Shisui and Lee Zan over. That's right, this, Zan, is what Uchiha Schwanwo calls Lee Zan. Ever since Lee Zan told him his name, the other party had to change Lee Zan's surname to Uchiha Ken. Although Lee Zan felt quite awkward, he had to bear with it since he told the lie of, I am an Uchiha living in exile. What's going on? Lee Zan approached Uchiha Schwanwo and asked. Shisui also stood aside. Due to some things, our family's current situation in the village is not good, so some clan members have already had extreme ideas. Uchiha Schwanwo looked at Shisui. I don't want the conflict between the family and the village to deepen. So Shisui, I hope you will take more care of your clan members. Some of the things Uchiha Schwanwo said naturally refer to the Nine Tails Rebellion. People in the village are suspicious of the Uchiha family because of this, and some people in the Uchiha family will naturally have strong thoughts because of this. It is not difficult to see from Uchiha Schwanwo's words that he is a peace faction among Uchiha, so he wants Shisui, who is also a peace faction, to pay a little attention to certain people in the clan. His strength is enough. Shisui nodded heavily with a somewhat immature face. He had experienced battles on the battlefield and his mind had already matured. Then, Uchiha Schwanwo looked at Lee Zan and said, You said you were an Uchiha tribesman living abroad. I believe you for the time being and will take you back to the family, but the situation in the family now is just like what I said. Something is wrong, so I hope you will stand in the same position as me if you come to the family. His meaning was obvious. He would trust Lee Zan and not be suspicious, but he hoped that Lee Zan would not be a hawk after returning to Uchiha, but would be a peace fan and support the idea of living in harmony with the village. No problem. Lee Zan agreed. He is very friendly to anyone who can provide him with prostitutes for free. Ah, Jade Pot. What Jade Pot? Lee Zan said he didn't understand. The trip back to Konoha took half a day. It wouldn't take that long if Lee Zan was at full speed, but in order to take care of other ninjas, he could only slow down his pace. After all, he didn't know which knot nest Konoha was in. We can't leave first. A group of people marched back to Konoha with no waiting crowd. Even Lee Zan felt that the way the ninja at the door looked at him and others was quite strange. After entering the village through the door, most of the villagers on the road avoided looking at the Uchiha family. It seems that the conflicts between Uchiha and other people in the village are intensifying. Lee Zan couldn't help but think. Sure enough, the Nine Tails Rebellion was just an introduction, and the seeds of conflict between Uchiha and the village had long been planted. Lee Zan followed the team back to the Uchiha family residence. Then follow Uchiha Schwanwo and Uchiha Shisui to meet with Uchiha's senior officials. After some conversation, Li Zan was finally determined to have returned to the Uchiha family. Having Uchiha blood is an indisputable fact. And at this juncture, who wouldn't accept the powerful Uchiha? It's not even too strong, it's still within limits. Although the suspicion of the spy cannot be completely eliminated, it is enough to prevent it from entering the core and use its combat power. Subsequently, relevant personnel assigned Li Zan a forehead protector and family emblem uniform, and provided him with corresponding accommodation. Let's just live in Uchiha for now. Sitting in the living room, Li Zan suddenly took out a computer from the space ring. This is a super invincible magical creation that he spent a lot of money to buy from the Samsara Square and can connect to the real network in the plot world to kill time. A full 20,000 reincarnation points and an A-level plot reward. I don't know which powerful person can actually come up with such a thing. Li Zan feels that if he has the chance, he must get to know him well. It just suits me so well. Although the stall owner looked at me like he was mentally retarded when he was selling this computer. After playing on the computer for a while, Li Zan spent a little time decorating his room. The sofa, TV, voice-activated door, etc. are all installed. It looks very modern. Many of the things are novelties that Li Zan bought at Samsara Square. It shouldn't be as boring as in Demon Slayer. Li Zan thinks so. Rather than saying that Li Zan came to the plot world to complete a mission, it would be better to say that he came to experience life. The little days passed like this day by day, comfortable and happy. 5 years passed slowly like this. A bit inferior, Itachi. Li Zan sat on the sofa, put down the controller, and said to the young man with short black hair sitting next to him. Haha. Itachi Uchiha laughed nonchalantly, and also put down the controller, looking a little dazed, obviously a little absent-minded. If this continues, your skills will be much worse than Zishui's. Li Zan said leisurely. His face was as young as ever, and it seemed that 5 years had not left any trace on his face. Moreover, 5 years had also allowed him to develop a certain friendship with Itachi and Shisui, so he was teasing them like this. I have something to do, so I'm leaving first. Uchiha Itachi said no more, excused himself and left. It seems something is about to happen. Li Zan thought indifferently as he watched Uchiha Itachi leave. Although he has been working hard for 5 years, he has not fallen behind on what he should do. Ah, that's right, just go meet others and sign in every day. Okay, still salted fish. But even so, the rewards of signing in are still full. For example, 2 years ago, Shisui opened the Mangekyo Sharingan after a mission. Li Zan did not know the specific details of how to activate it. After all, Uchiha opening the kaleidoscope would be accompanied by unhappy things. Li Zan went to sign in after Shisui had been turned on for a while. In this way, Li Zan simply opened his own Mangekyo Sharingan, and obtained the bug-level ability of other gods that can change other people's subconscious perceptions. But Susanoo hasn't learned it yet. Li Zan thought that everyone would be able to open a Gundam once they opened the kaleidoscope, but his expectations were in vain. However, he was too lazy to play with his eyes and learn how to open the Gundam. Instead, he planned to wait for Shisui or Itachi to learn how to open the Gundam. Easy and simple. In the past 5 years, not only have I signed the Mangekyo Sharingan, but I have also gained a lot of chakra. Wind attributes, thunder attributes, and earth attributes were all signed by Li Zan. He now contains 4 attributes of chakra in his body. And the chakra superimposed in the body should be at least the level of a tailed beast, and may even be the level of a tailed beast with more tails. Although the signed chakra is not very strong, it has become what it is now. As for the other numerous signed ninjutsu, I won't go into details one by one. Since Shisui opened the Mangekyo Sharingan and became the number 1 master of Uchiha, the Uchiha clan seems to have become more restless. After all, with the passage of time, 5 years later, there seemed to be more and more hawks in the Uchiha clan. The peace faction was suppressed to a certain extent. Even Li Zan, a guy who adhered to the peaceful faction in the eyes of the Uchiha family, was treated in the cold. On weekdays, I assign some tasks to Li Zan, and then just ignore them and don't discuss anything with him. But, he was still happy that the Uchiha people didn't discuss it with him. And Uchiha couldn't escape Li Zan's attention. After all, he is also a man who understands the overall situation. Now Itachi seems to have entered the Anbu, and was sent by the family leader Uchiha Fugaku to supervise the top management of Konoha. However, the top management of Konoha entrusted Itachi to supervise the movements of the Uchiha family, making Itachi a double agent. At the same time, Shisui was assigned by Uchiha Fugaku to monitor Itachi, but Shisui violated the order and secretly told Itachi about the mission. That's why Itachi was so troubled just now, Lee Zan thought. Speaking of which, I haven't signed today's check-in yet. He suddenly thought, where's Shisui? Remember he didn't go on a mission today. Lee Zan's nose quivered, and tens of thousands of flavors surged and separated, searching for the smell of Zishui. After a few seconds, he smelled Shisui. The smell of blood. Lee Zan also smelled the smell of blood that was tainted with Shisui's taste. There are several impressive smells around Shisui. One of them had the deepest impression, which was the scent of someone Lee Zan went to see and identify one day. That was Danzo's scent. Danzo's smell. I still pay attention to Danzo Lee Zan, the yin and yang troublemaker in the Naruto world. Shisui is injured. Did you have a conflict with Danzo because of the Uchiha coup? Go and have a look. Lee Zan in the living room put down the handle and suddenly disappeared. Blood dripped. Shisui covered the frame of his eye that had been gouged out, and kept moving backwards. He looked at Danzo's loose bandage and the gradually widening pupils under the bandage with some surprise. Sharingan. Izanagi. Izanagi, a forbidden technique of the Uchiha clan, records the previous state and rolls back within the effective time of the technique. Any damage received, including death, will be invalid, at the cost of losing the one who activated the technique. The light of the Sharingan. Just now, Shisui used Genjutsu to subdue Danzo, but he didn't expect that the opponent actually had a Sharingan, and used the Sharingan to release the forbidden technique. As a result, his right eye was gouged out without realizing it. It will become a replacement for my eye, Danzo said indifferently, holding the Sharingan that was dug out of Shisui's eye. Danzo knew about the powerful illusion, beyond the gods, contained in the Shisui Mangekyo Sharingan, so he wanted to take his eyes. Give me the other eye. As Danzo finished his words, many, ninjas wearing masks appeared beside him, staring directly at Shisui. Art Fire Escape Ho Fireball. Shisui quickly formed a seal, and the extremely burning flames turned into a large ball of fire and struck directly at the ninja on the opposite side. The ninja at the root also reacted very promptly, forming seals quickly and spitting out water to offset the incoming fireball. Suddenly, water and fire intersected, evaporating bursts of air. When the airflow dissipated, Shisui had disappeared. The art of teleportation, Danzo muttered to himself as he looked at the clearing. Suddenly, he felt an extremely ominous aura from a distance, and his whole body was horrified and his spirit was shaken. In an instant, a silver thread shot from the dense forest in the distance. Before Danzo and the surrounding ninjas could react, they instantly entangled Danzo with the Mangekyo Sharingan, which was still stained with blood, in his hand. He then moved backwards and retreated into the forest with lightning speed. Catch up. Danzo's words seemed to contain anger that was surging like a volcano. The surrounding ninjas immediately jumped up and rushed towards the dense forest, only to return without success after a few minutes. Trash. Danzo could only furiously scold the root ninja who was kneeling on one knee. It's so exciting. Lee Zan tossed the Sharingan wrapped in silver threads, and the corners of his mouth moved upward slightly. Danzo's combat effectiveness is now around cage level, and Lee Zan, who has been signed as a demon for 5 years, is obviously stronger than him. But the troublesome thing is that Shimura Danzo has the terrible trick of Lee Sixiang Seal, which is to kill everyone together. If he is hit by this move, Lee Zan's immortal life recovery power after becoming a ghost will have no effect at all. Moreover, this is still within Konoha territory, so if he fights Danzo, he is afraid that there will be support from other Konoha ninjas. Therefore, whatever Lee Zan wants to do now, he will not choose to fight head-on with Shimura Danzo. At least not now. Where did Shisui go? Lee Zan opened his taste again to search for Shisui's location. After all, I have to give these eyes back to him. Lee Zan had no interest in Shisui's kaleidoscope. He also has other gods, which are of no use holding Shisui's eyes. The most important thing is that Lee Zan is still waiting for Shisui to sign in for him after he learns to drive Gundam. If the pupil power of a single eye decreases, it will definitely become more difficult to learn to fly a Gundam. But today is the day Shisui jumped off a cliff and died, right? Lee Zan suddenly thought. It seems that Itachi opened the Mangekyo Sharingan because he saw Shisui committing suicide today. So should I stop Shisui from jumping off the cliff or not? I also really want Itachi's, Tsukuyomi, and Amaterasu. It doesn't matter. It's not my style to dwell on so much. Lee Zan put Zishui's eyes in his pocket. Fortunately, they were wrapped in silver spider silk, otherwise Lee Zan would have felt weird about burying them. Gooey human eyes. Tisk. He located Shisui's position and jumped over there as fast as he could. Within a few minutes, he saw Shisui's figure. He was standing on the cliff of Nanhi River, his back turned to Itachi who was wearing Anbu uniform, and he was talking about something. The Uchiha coup cannot be stopped. Once a civil war breaks out in Konoha, other countries will definitely take advantage of it. Shisui said solemnly, war is inevitable. I originally wanted to use other gods to stop the coup, but his right eye was taken away by Danzo. He turned his head and closed his right eye, the sight of blood flowing into Itachi's eyes. Lee Zan just quietly watched the conversation between the two of them not far away, without interrupting or showing up. He doesn't believe me, Shisui continued. He insists on protecting the village in his own way, and he won't let go of my left eye. Before that, I put this, just give me my eyes. He stretched his fingers to his remaining left eye and dug the eyeball out of the frame. It looks a little painful. Seeing such a scene, Lee Zan couldn't help but think in his heart. I can only ask you, my best friend, to protect the village in the name of Uchiha. Shisui's eyes were closed, blood oozing from the eye frames, and he held up the cutout Mangekyo Sharingan and stretched it towards Itachi. The breeze blows. Under the moonlight, a black crow flew from midair, landed on Shisui's palm, and touched his eyes. The entire crow instantly turned into crow feathers flying all over the sky. This was a crow transformed by Itachi's illusion, not a real crow. Shisui's eyes had already been taken over by him. I accepted it, what are you going to do? Itachi's 3 Magatama Sharingan looked directly at Shisui and asked. If I die, the situation should change somewhat. Shisui smiled at his best friend before him and stepped back. A suicide note has also been left. Wait, Shisui. Itachi guessed Shisui's intention and spoke out to stop him. Don't stop me, Itachi. Shisui smiled and called his best friend's name, if you are still my friend. Itachi's body paused, and then he stretched out his hand to grab it, but in the end he just watched Shisui fall straight down the cliff. Looking at Shisui who was gradually falling into the cliff waterfall, Uchiha Itachi's eyes were no longer looking at Magatama, but instead, a strange pattern. Witnessing the death of his best friend, Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan opened. Shisui. He murmured the name of his best friend, put on ANBU's exclusive cat face mask, covered his face, and turned around to leave. Shisui listened to the howling wind and the surging water below. Talking to myself. Am I going to die? It failed to ease the relationship between the family and the village. Nothing was done. He couldn't help but feel guilty for not doing what he wanted to do. If I die, the top brass in the family won't be so quick to launch a coup. I hope Itachi can do something. Shisui placed his hope on Uchiha Itachi. Don't show regret. A calm voice sounded very clear in the wind. This is Zan's voice. He has always been deeply impressed by Shisui, the man he brought back to his family 5 years ago. He can always come up with new and interesting things. It's just that because of his laziness and his indifferent character, he is just an ordinary friend at most. And I don't know why I come to shake hands with myself every day once I stay in the family. Because the other party has always been stubborn, Shisui has always felt that his strength has not improved since the day he met her, and there should be some gap with him now. The impression of the other party ends there. The next moment, Shisui found that the other party was holding his back. Don't do this. Shisui wanted to stop the other person with words. But Lee Zan wouldn't pay attention to Shisui's opinion. After all, we have played a lot of games together, so we can be regarded as half-game friends. I have been raped by myself so many times without even realizing it. I also have a good attitude towards communication on weekdays. He's a man of good character. So Lee Zan will save him. Lee Zan took Zishui to the river and put him down. Shisui was also a little speechless at this time, not knowing what to say. Here, your eyes. Li Zan forced a small silver ball into Shisui's palm. This. You. Shisui was suddenly a little stunned. This was snatched from Danzo, not stolen from Weasel. Li Zan explained, the outer layer is wrapped in a layer of soft spider silk. It can be torn open with a little force if you are careful. Did you steal it from Danzo? Shisui's face was full of incomprehension. You could actually steal my eyes from Danzo. Haven't you been playing with those novelty gadgets at home? How can you reach this level of strength? To this extent. In his impression, Danzo was a cage-level powerhouse no matter what. Li Zan's Jonin strength shouldn't be able to do such a thing. He uses his evil ways to trick you, and I use my dirty tricks to trick him. Li Zan said jokingly. Shisui, who possesses a kaleidoscope, is the #1 master of Uchiha, a true cage-level expert, and even possesses the extraneous skill of Belt the God. If Danzo hadn't used Sharingan to hit him with an information gap, he would have only. I'm afraid that Danzo may not be able to defeat Shisui. Haha, Zishui smiled. It was indeed possible that the other party stole the eyes in some way, but he still raised Li Zan's strength in his heart. After all, Danzo is neither a weak nor a fool, and he must have basic strength to play dirty tricks. Then, Zishui shook his head, stretched out the eyeball in his hand to Li Zan, and said, I have given up my mind to die, and there is no use keeping these eyes. If possible, I hope you can accept my eyes and go to ease the relationship between Uchiha and the village. I know, Zan, you are an outsider, and you don't have a strong sense of belonging to the family, and it doesn't matter what Uchiha is like. But I still hope you can help me keep the Uchiha name. Quote. What you said is very touching. Li Zan replied. So, but I refuse, Li Zan said with a smile. Quote. It's better to do my own thing. I'm not in the mood to contribute to others. Li Zan took the eyeball wrapped in spider silk from Zishui's hand, removed the spider silk, and approached Zishui. What are you going to do? Shisui felt something and asked with a frown. It's better not to resist. After all, resisting is useless. Li Zan thought. He quickly opened Shisui's left eyelid with one hand, and pinched Shisui's eye with the other hand and stuffed it directly into his empty eye frame. Just as Shisui swung his arms to resist, Li Zan's work was already done. It has to be said that the Uchiha family lacks the Sharingan, so their combat power is really reduced a lot. Uchiha Shisui, who was originally a cage-level powerhouse, was able to plummet to the level of an elite Jonin. Of course, a certain guy named Madara Uchiha was an exception. The moment his eyes were plugged back, Shisui regained his sight. The Sharingan of the Uchiha family is such a strange thing. As long as you are a member of the Uchiha family, the Sharingan is equivalent to plug and play. You can dig it out when you want and install it when you want. It is extremely convenient. Although Li Zan felt it was a bit outrageous and overdone. He wouldn't gouge out his eyes anyway. In the future, if you want to upgrade the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, you will only sign in, and you will not do anything like merging other people's Mangekyo Sharingan with your own Mangekyo Sharingan. Alas, Zishui looked at Li Zan and sighed. The return to light did not make him happy. Why are you sighing, young man? Li Zan patted Shisui on the shoulder as if teaching a junior, and said with a smile. He is indeed older than Shisui, so there is really no problem in doing so. I am more useful dead now than alive, Shisui said with dull eyes. You are more useful alive than dead, Li Zan said slowly. In Itachi's view, you are already dead anyway. The news he brought back spread, and after the suicide note was discovered, the role of your death was it has indeed happened that as long as you don't show up, the fact that you are dead will not change. Since you are already dead in the eyes of everyone, why would you die again? I don't have it now. Don't talk about the meaning of living. Li Zan interrupted Shisui before he finished speaking. You are still useful if you are alive. If there is a coup in Uchiha, I will put some things that are not silent about the age of the world. The younger Uchiha clan members were taken away from Konoha for you to take care of. Whether these children grow up to be full of hatred for revenge against Konoha or to understand the truth, it depends on you to live a good life. After listening to Li Zan's words, Shisui's expression finally changed, and his eyes were no longer dim. Can you really do it? Konoha will not allow it. If a coup occurs, the younger members of the Uchiha tribe will naturally not be spared, because these are the seeds that may breed hatred. Just like Uchiha Sasuke in the middle period, he only wanted to revenge Konoha. Relax whether you can do it or not, Lee Zan said casually. As for whether Konoha will allow this issue, even if they notice it, they will pretend not to know. Because after that, the Uchiha clan was exterminated by Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Obito before they actually launched a coup. Therefore, the Sandaime Hokage will feel guilty about the Uchiha clan. Even if he notices it, he may not pay attention to it. Besides, it may not be noticed. Chapter 91. Although he thought so in his heart, he did not explain it to Shisui in detail. He placed Shisui in a certain cave for a while, and told him not to go out for a walk as much as possible, and to wear a mask when he went out. After that, Lee Zan went back. Sure enough, after the news of Uchiha Shisui's suicide reached Konoha, it caused an uproar among the Uchiha clan and Konoha's top brass. On the high-level side of Konoha, after listening to Itachi Uchiha's report, the third-generation Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, regretted the death of Uchiha Shisui. The other two elders of Konoha, Koharu and Mito Kadenin, were concerned about whether Uchiha would be affected by this. After calming down for a while, Danzo was still jumping to his feet secretly as his eyes were taken away from his hands, and he was very angry. The Uchiha clan secretly suspected Uchiha Shisui's death on Uchiha Itachi and became suspicious of him. They even sent several Jonin to come to question Uchiha Itachi and monitored him at all times after the interrogation failed. Following Uchiha Itachi's actions, the coup that was supposed to be launched in the near future was postponed due to Shisui's death. Lee Zan is still living a peaceful life, as if all the ups and downs of the Uchiha clan have nothing to do with him. All he had to do now was wait for Itachi to launch the genocide plan, and then use the blood ghost technique of the demonized Tamagotsubo to put the younger Uchiha children in and throw them to Shisui to raise. Brother Zan! A cute shout came from outside the living room. Open the door. Lee Zan opened the voice-activated door and let in the little boy outside. The boy has fair skin, black hair and black eyes, and his hair and bangs extend to the end and gradually turn into broken hair. He is the younger brother of Uchiha Itachi and the second Destiny son in the Naruto world, Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke was quite cute when he was a child. He has not experienced the trauma of genocide. Now he has a very innocent character. He calls Lee Zan, Brother Zan, every time. Children like entertainment, so Sasuke was deeply attracted when he saw the equipment in Lee Zan's room. He ran towards him all day long, and Itachi couldn't stop him even if he wanted to. This matter was soon known to Sasuke's father Uchiha Fugaku and mother Uchiha Makoto. After they saw that Lee Zan was a relatively powerful peace sect, they entrusted Sasuke to Lee Zan and asked Lee Zan to teach Sasuke how to practice ninjutsu. Lee Zan accepted this task very nonchalantly. So he taught Sasuke how to use kunai and ninjutsu every day, and when he was tired, he would touch fish and play games. Itachi would come to see Sasuke from time to time, and Lee Zan would check in. By the way, Tsukuyomi, an illusion activated by the Mangekyo Sharingan. When the enemy sees the Mangekyo Sharingan that activates the technique, the enemy's spirit can be pulled into the illusion space. In the Tsukuyomi world, all factors include time, location, the quality, etc., are all controlled by the caster, and the enemy will suffer tremendous physical and mental pain in the illusion world. Excessive use of the Mangekyo Sharingan will reduce pupil power until blindness. Amaterasu. When activated, a black flame with powerful destructive power will ignite at the focus of the pupil. The black flame will not dissipate until the target is burned out. Excessive use of the Mangekyo Sharingan will reduce pupil power until blindness. Susanoo initial form chakra materializes, transforming into arms and ribs, which can be used for various purposes such as attack, defense, protection, and control. Excessive use of the Mangekyo Sharingan will reduce pupil power until blindness. Then Lee Zan used all the eye skills attached to Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan. I also have the Gundam I wanted. It's just that Susanoo's level is obviously still very low, so it can only function like an exoskeleton armor and cannot open a real Gundam. We can only wait until Itachi becomes stronger before signing. The days pass by, and time keeps passing. That night, a guest that Lee Zan didn't expect arrived. On the way back from eating ramen at Ichiraku ramen shop, two ninjas wearing masks with strange patterns on their faces appeared in front of Li Zan. Root. Looking at their costumes, Li Xuanian thought. Danzo-sama, please come over, the ninja said. What if I say no? Li Zan said with a smile. The two, rooted, ninjas looked at each other and then said, I can only apologize. Okay, don't use violence, I'll go with you. Li Zan waved his hand to express his submission. He wanted to see what medicine Danzo was selling in his gourd. In this way, Li Zan followed them to a building. The moment he entered the building, Li Zan saw Danzo's figure. An old man with a cane and a bandage. Standing in front of Danzo, Li Zan just looked at him quietly, waiting for him to speak first. You are a member of the Uchiha family who came to the Uchiha family from outside 6 years ago. Danzo's sharp gaze fell on Li Zan's face. Yeah, Li Zan nodded. Join. Root. Danzo suddenly said. Li Zan really didn't expect that the other party would suddenly say such words. He had expected that Danzo would find out that he had stolen his Shisui Sharingan, and would bring him over for a fight, but he never expected that the other party would suddenly invite him to join the root. But after thinking about it for a moment, Li Zan understood the other party's intention. Through investigation, Danzo found out that I was an outsider from the Uchiha clan. I didn't have a strong sense of belonging to the Uchiha clan. I was a pacifist, so he wanted to recruit me to be the Uchiha clan's internal agent to obtain information and pass on the news. So how should I answer? Li Zan thought. Joining the roots will lose some freedom. But it will also allow you to be exposed to more aspects of Konoha, unlike the Uchiha who can only be a salty fish now. The number of Uchiha people signed up now has obviously reached the limit, and it is difficult to significantly improve. We need to try to sign in other people with some strength. With the current strength, we should be able to sign in strongly. With Uchiha's current awkward position in Konoha, it is not easy to move around. In comparison, there is more reason to act as a root. Maybe I can get in touch with Naruto. Otherwise, with the current situation where Naruto and the Jinchuriki are being closely monitored, it would be really hard for me to get in touch with an outsider of the Uchiha clan. Then join in. But if I join, the other party will probably not believe me so easily, they will probably brainwash me. In order to avoid so much trouble. Okay, I'll join the root. Looking at Danzo, Li Zan agreed with a smile. His eyes turned blood red and turned the kaleidoscope Sharingan with strange patterns in vain. Other gods. The spell is activated. The powerful eye power seeped into Danzo's mind in vain. Believe. This impression of Li Zan was suddenly engraved in his subconscious mind. Danzo-sama. The ninja next to him couldn't help but feel wary when he saw Li Zan suddenly opening his Sharingan, and rushed forward. Stop. Danzo raised his hand to signal them to pause. He stared at the strange patterns in Li Zan's eyes and said, You actually activated the Mangekyo Sharingan. Normally, with Danzo's vigilant and cautious character, he would avoid looking at the Mangekyo Sharingan the moment he sees it to prevent it from being affected. However, his subconscious mind had been engraved with the imprint of trust, so he subconsciously did not look away. Because he believes that the other party will not take action against him. Beyond the gods is such a terrifying technique that can change other people's subconscious cognition without others noticing, making them unaware. As long as the hypnotic effect is not too outrageous, it will be difficult to detect. Even if you are aware of it, it is difficult to remove the other gods. After all, it is a skill that needs to be cooled down for more than 10 years after being used once. It is known as the most powerful illusion in Naruto. It cannot be justified without this effect. Moreover, Danzo's mentality of despising Li Zan was a little bit when he fell into the trap. He had conducted a thorough investigation into this foreign Uchiha clan member. The 3 Magatama Sharingan, neglected to exercise, has the upper limit of strength of the top elite Jonin. Therefore, Danzo believes that when he is surrounded by root ninjas and he is also a cage-level player, the opponent will never be able to stand up. How could he have thought that Li Zan didn't need to rely on training to improve his strength, and his strength would directly transform into a film-level powerhouse every day? The Mangekyo Sharingan can be opened at will, even Shisui's other gods. When facing Shisui, Danzo directly consumed his Sharingan to open Izanagi, just to guard against Shisui's terrifying, better god. But the fact is that Lizon is stronger than him, holds the Mangekyo Sharingan, and has the other gods, so he uses it directly without hesitation. So, as expected, one of the best in Naruto, Lao Yinbi Danzo, fell into the trap. Even Lizon's suggestion of other gods is just a simple and direct trust, and the effect is outstanding. Again, because I want Danzo-sama to understand my strength, Lizon said with a smile. Innocent heart is activated. The effect of other gods superimposing the heart of a child. Tisk tisk tisk. Very good, not bad. Danzo patted Lizon on the shoulder with appreciation. His appearance made the members of the Root Club on the side look stunned for a moment. Hey, Danzo-sama, this guy has just joined Root. He hasn't passed the test yet. Just because he reveals his Sharingan, you are so kind to him. This is not in line with your character. Danzo-sama. A ninja wanted to remind Danzo that this guy can't be trusted, yet needs to pass a test. However, Danzo glanced at him sharply and held back the words he wanted to say in his throat. Shell, you will lead the team and let Uchiha Ken join your team to implement the killing plan of the IDU merchant. Danzo said to a Root ninja beside him. Yes. Then, Danzo said to Lizon, do a good job on your first mission and don't disappoint me. Okay, Lizon responded. Danzo then left, leaving behind a ninja whom Danzo called Shell. Whoosh, the sound of items flying through the air suddenly sounded. Lizon caught it. It is an exclusive mask for the root part. Roots are the hidden roots that support the village and are deeply rooted in the earth. They exist to maintain the village. A deep voice came from under the shell mask, teaching Lizon. I care more about the killing mission of the IDU merchant than these. Lizon tried to put on a mask, and a curious voice came out from under the mask. Don't think that just because Lord Danzo values you, you can come here casually. Kei seemed to be unhappy with Lizon's attitude, with dissatisfaction in his tone. Come here casually. If you came here casually, I would have just pressed Danzo to sign in every day and drained him dry. It's not because I'm not strong enough now to crush you. Don't worry, I will be very obedient. Lizon said calmly. Liar. He added these words in his mind. However, the innocent heart that always accompanies his words now still makes people feel his sincerity. Therefore, Kei's attitude also relaxed and explained to Lizon. Recently, there have been conflicts between two small ninja villages. IDU is the financial sponsor of one of the small ninja villages, and both ninja villages are vassals of our Konoha. We don't want one side to overwhelm the other, and when the two sides are in a stalemate, asking the village to take charge of the overall situation is the best thing in our Konoha interests. I don't want one of the ninja villages to be powerful enough to defeat the other side, so I want to assassinate the rich man. Sure enough, the root is to do shameful things. After listening to Kei's words, Lizon thought silently. He knew very well in his heart that what the other party said, roots are the hidden roots that support the village deep in the earth, and exist to maintain the village. It seemed quite noble. In fact, it is just an organization supported by the great Konoha to do bad things and let Danzo take the blame. When will we set off? Lizon asked. He did not resist such a mission. Since IDU is involved in the affairs between the ninja village, he should be enlightened. There is nothing right or wrong, it's just different positions. Of course, if merchant IDU seems to be more pleasing to the eye, Lizon won't mind saving him. After all, the Mangekyo Sharingan has a very strong hypnotic ability, and he can just hypnotize the accompanying root members one by one. Anyway, their strength is not strong, so they can push them as much as they want. However, there is still a risk of being discovered by Danzo in doing so. Gather here in the morning in 3 days, and don't let the Uchiha clan know that you have joined the roots. Shell specifically instructed. Oh, Lizon responded casually, then I'll leave first. Don't expose your whereabouts, Kei emphasized. Oh. It was already late by the time Lizon returned to the Uchiha clan. It was already evening. As soon as he returned to the living room, he saw a pair of brothers standing at the door, Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke. He clamored to come to your place to play, Itachi said with a helpless look on his face. It's already very late. Lee Zan rubbed Sasuke's head. Brother is leaving tomorrow, Sasuke shouted. He wanted to play with his brother at Brother Zan's place. Because Itachi stayed in Anbu and had to perform tasks, he was not at home often and would only come back once in a while. So Sasuke still wanted to play at this time. Then just follow him. Lee Zan opened the door of the living room nonchalantly. Okay. Sasuke was very happy and jumped directly to the sofa. Itachi looked at Lee Zan helplessly. I thought you stopped him together. A child, Lee Zan thought. Anyway, Urzuzi doesn't have much time to be happy. This sentence was not uttered. You dote on him more than I do, Itachi said. Who knows? Lee Zan patted Itachi on the shoulder and motioned for him to sit down. You must be very tired from doing the task. Just take a rest without caring about anything. Itachi looked at him, somewhat silent. The next moment, his expression gradually relaxed and he sat next to Sasuke. Come on, Sasuke, try to beat me. Lee Zan opened a fighting game. I will definitely beat Brother Zan this time. Sasuke, a boy who always lost, said inspiringly. Then work hard, Lee Zan said with a smile, picked up the controller, and moved his eyes to the smart screen. But what reflected in his eyes were lines of text. Susanoo, first stage. He's gotten stronger. Itachi. By the way, why did you come back so late? What happened? Suddenly, Itachi asked. How to answer? Lee Zan thought. Shell's sincere words suddenly flashed through his mind. Don't let the Uchiha clan know that you joined the Roots. Ah, Danzo invited me to join Root, and I agreed. Lee Zan said casually while operating the handle. Itachi looked at him in shock, then frowned. Itachi was silent for a while. In the room, only the fierce voices of Sasuke, punch me, stop hitting me, and Lee Zan, you have to punch me again, and punch me continuously, were left. You have to be careful, Danzo. Itachi suddenly warned. Yeah, Lee Zan nodded on the surface, but he was thinking in his heart. I should be careful about you. If you wipe out your clan, you may have to kill me too. I lost, Sasuke said in frustration as the manipulated character fell to the ground. Then he handed the handle to Itachi. Brother, it's your turn. Itachi took the controller and smiled at Sasuke and said, leave it to my brother, I will defeat him. Come on, brother. Little Sasuke became a cheerleader. In this game, Itachi, you will lose 10 times out of 10. Lee Zan said something that would demoralize the enemy. Then give it a try. Itachi said confidently. Choose a character, start the game, and fight. Hey, Mr. Uchiha Itachi, it's illegal to activate the Sharingan in a game. Forget it, if you drive, I will drive too. Why are you still using a kaleidoscope? That's a bit too much. 3 days passed in a blink of an eye. Lee Zan put on the robe that wrapped his body, put on the Root mask, and came to the place where they met before. Late, Shell looked at the newcomer Uchiha Ken and said coldly. Sorry, Lee Zan said very insincerely. Kei didn't care too much about him because he was in a hurry. He said to his 4 subordinates, it takes half a day to travel. You have to go fast and follow me. He led the way directly from the front. 4 people, including Lee Zan, followed him. Halfway through the journey, Kei was still explaining. The caravan IDU is in has hired 2 Jonin from Kurigakure village to kill them all, leaving no one alive. Yes, several people responded. The subordinates led by Kei were in good physical condition and did not feel much tired after traveling for a long time. Under the observation of Lee Zan secretly opening the Sharingan, he used the Uchiha family's Junin chakra storage as an analogy. One of the opponent's 3 subordinates is no different from a Junin, and the other 2 have chakra storage levels at a special Junin level. Kai's own chakra storage is at the level of an elite Junin. Their actual strength and chakra storage should not be much different. After all, it's not wall-mounted. That's the caravan over there. Kei looked at the carriages and horses walking along the mountain road. Do it. The next moment, Kei directly ordered. Several people rushed away immediately. The 2 ninjas wearing forehead protectors beside the carriage and horse immediately noticed and appeared in the direction where everyone was rushing. They couldn't help but frown when they saw the costumes of Kei and others. Anbu from which ninja village? What to do? But when the other party threw a kunai at the 2 of them, they knew that the person who came was evil. Water escape water formation wall. One of the Jonin of Kurigakure village quickly formed a seal, and violently spurted waterfall like water from his mouth to form a blocking water curtain, intercepting all the kunai that was shot. Another Kurigakure Murakami ninja used his shadow clone to jump out of the water curtain with his shadow clone. Yin Mao Shu Wei Chun. Before he shows up, the seal has been formed. Wind release. Wind cut technique. The violent wind formed a cutting blade, and the root ninjas rushed from the left and right. Spread out. Kei immediately ordered. All the root ninjas immediately spread out, beyond the range of the ninjutsu package. So fast. The two Kurigakure Murjonin instantly understood that the 5 ninjas in front of them were no ordinary people. What was the purpose? Kidnapping or assault? Take the employer away first. Water release Jonin said to wind release Jonin. Be careful, Feng Dunjunin warned, and then he ran his chakra to drive his body and galloped towards the employer of this mission. There were only 2 of them as ninjas in the business group. Seeing that there were many people and strong strength in the shell, they immediately made the decision to take their employer to escape. Catch him and kill him, Kei said coldly, directly facing the Kurigakure Murakunin who was using water escape alone. Thunder release. 100 thunders. Kei mobilized chakra and quickly formed seals with his hands. Hundreds of thunder and lightning emerged on his arms, sizzling around them, exuding astonishing power. The water escape ninja suddenly felt that something was wrong. The opponent should be stronger than himself. There are not many ordinary people in the business group, most of them are samurai friends who have already prepared for awakening. The stronger shell subordinate and another subordinate were fighting fiercely with the Junin who wanted to take his employer away. For a moment there was no winner. The remaining, root, ninja faced these samurai companions like a wolf among sheep, harvesting their lives like melons and vegetables. Li Zan did not stop his behavior. After all, these samurai companions had already made up their mind, stood on their own positions, and did what they should do. It did not conflict with him and had nothing to do with him, so he would not save him. However, although he is also a member of the Gen, he does not kill randomly like the one above. When he encounters people, he uses Sharingan Genjutsu to make people unconscious. Where is IDU? Kei seemed to have finished his work. He appeared next to Li Zan covered in blood and asked. I don't know. Li Zan waved his hand to express that he didn't know. You. Kei glared at Li Zan fiercely, and secretly decided to ask Lord Danzo to expel this guy or punish him severely when he returned. This guy doesn't fit into the roots at all. Is it possible to take a leisurely stroll during a mission, like traveling? The next moment, Kai rushed towards the remaining Kurigakure Murakuin who was still struggling to hold on. The fight was over in a minute. The stinky corpse of the electric coke was smashed down. Look for IDU. Shell ordered again, but the moment after giving the order, Kei saw his subordinate who had massacred the samurai companions flying through the air and crashing into the open space in front of him. It seems that there is more air coming out and less air entering. What happened? The shell looked in the direction the body was flying from. Li Zan also looked. Then he raised his eyebrows. Oh, here comes a somewhat unexpected person. The person who came not far away was wearing a black windbreaker embroidered with red clouds, a bamboo hat with wind chimes on his head, his nails were painted with nail polish, and he was wearing a ring with the word, North, engraved on his finger. Someone from Akatsuki. Li Zan looked at the other party and thought. Who has the ring of North? Li Zan couldn't remember it for a while. The other party wore a bamboo hat and lowered his head slightly to cover his face, so that he could not see his face. Who are you? What do you want to do? Kei shouted to the other party. The reputation of Akatsuki, the first team in the Naruto world, has not yet fully spread, and it is unknown, so the shell did not recognize the other party's identity. Ah, Li Zan suddenly remembered who the Akatsuki members the word, Bei, probably represented during this period. Kakuzu. Li Zan stared at the other person's figure, and the figure gradually overlapped with the image in his memory. That's right, it's Kakuzu. What are those corners for? Li Zan thought. There is a conflict between 2 small ninja villages. IDU is the financial backer of one of the small ninja villages, Akatsuki is a mercenary organization, and Kaku is focused on making money. Could it be that the other ninja village was eradicated by the black market? IDU's mission. Then Kakuzu took over. Where is IDU? Kei asked the other party. He thought Kakuzu was another bodyguard hired by IDU. Dead. Li Zan's familiar voice came from under the bamboo hat. He raised his head slightly, revealing his face wearing a black mask, and his emerald green eyes looked directly at Kei and the others. Sure enough, it was intercepted. Li Zan thought. This Iduko is really miserable. The roots of Konoha want to kill him, and the Kakuzu of Akatsuki want to kill him too. I couldn't help but feel sad for IDU. Dead. The face under the mask twitched slightly, and he also realized that he had been cut off. But the task of getting to the bottom of it was accomplished. He glanced at the corpse of his subordinate who had lost his breath. Lose a subordinate in exchange for completing the task. The deal was a good one. So be it. Our goal is also to kill IDU. Since IDU is dead, our goal has been achieved. Kei motioned to other subordinates to carry the dead subordinate's body on his back, and then said to Jiaodu. He obviously didn't want to conflict with Kakuzu. For him, the task is accomplished. There's no point in killing you, there's no money to be made. Kakuzu said to himself. Kei and others heard his muttering clearly, so they turned around and prepared to leave. And the leader also said that it should not be too early to conflict with Konoha. Thunder release Thunder Spear. In the seal, the Thunder attribute chakra gathered on Kai's arm to form a spear, which he threw towards Kakuzu with all his strength. Secret technique Earth Resentment. Many seams on Kakuzu's body cracked, and countless black lines emerged to wrap up the sudden Thunder Spears, squeezing them and dissipating them. Come on, Keihu ordered Jiaodu with a cold expression on his face. The two subordinates looked at each other and then formed seals and used ninjutsu to attack Kakuzu. So why did you mention Konoha? Li Zan looked at Kakuzu and thought to himself. The captain on my side will not allow anyone who knows about Konoha's actions to survive. Even if Kakuzu might not tell anyone, no one might believe him. The shell captain here doesn't want to let go of the possibility at all. But Li Zan couldn't help but glance at KK. You can't beat him. The other person is a man who can give Hashirama a kunai for a lifetime from 800 meters away. You really can't beat him. Li Zan is very clear about Kakuzu's strength, and his shadow level strength has not gone away. Although it can only be the lower level kind. But it's not like shells can touch porcelain. Why don't you take action? Kei looked at Li Zan in vain. I am a member of the Uchiha family, so it is better to use the Sharingan to find opportunities to take action. Li Zan made a casual excuse. If you don't take action, you will die. Suddenly, Kei Jaeyin released thunder and lightning and exploded towards Li Zan. So irritable, Li Zan avoided the opponent's thunder in a flash. What's wrong with you? If you don't obey the actions and will of the root, there will be no value in the root. Kei seemed to have been unhappy with Li Zan for a long time and wanted to strangle him. He quickly formed seals with his hands again and launched a thunder attack, and even then several kunai were shot out. What if you, Danzo-sama, blame you? Li Zan avoided the lightning flashes and the incoming kunai with danger after danger. I will naturally explain it to you, Danzo-sama, Kai replied. Thunder release Shu Mingbai. He formed the seal at an extremely fast speed, obviously intending to release a powerful ninjutsu to kill Li Zan in one fell swoop, then support his subordinates in time, and finally Li Zan's death was blamed on the person just now. But in the next moment, Li Zan, who was staring at him, suddenly disappeared. Suddenly, I felt my neck tighten, my seals were broken, my legs left the ground, and it became a little difficult to breathe. Can't we get along well? A calm voice came from the mouth of the man who pinched his neck and raised it. Why is he so strong? Kei only felt that the opponent's strength was completely different from what he had investigated. Then, through the mask, he saw the other party's blood-red Sharingan rotating in strange patterns. My mind suddenly fell into a trance, and I felt like I had fallen into a strange space, been nailed to a cross, unable to resist or move. The opponent's figure holding a nail appeared in front of him. He was smiling, but it made people feel creepy. Ah! In the unknown space, there were bursts of miserable and violent screams. Li Zan put down the lifeless body and thought in his mind. Is this what it feels like to cast Tsukuyomi? In the illusion space created by Tsukuyomi, I feel like the absolute creator, and I can do whatever I want. It's a strange feeling. He suddenly felt a stinging pain in his eyes. Sure enough, the burden of using the Mangekyo Sharingan to cast the pupil technique that comes with the Mangekyo is still a bit heavy. It seems that you have to wait until you upgrade to the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan before you can use it casually. Use something else if you can. I don't want to be blind. This side of the shell was solved by Li Zan, and the two subordinates of the other side were also solved by Jiaodu. After all, he is also a man who can shoot the first Hokage's kunai, and the speed of solving it is really fast. So what are you going to do next? Li Zan looked at Kakuzu with a gentle smile. Kakuzu looked at Li Zan and frowned slightly. Staring at the Konoha root ninja opposite, Kakuzu was a little puzzled. Why are the people at the root of Konoha so conflicted among themselves? That guy who was obviously a member of the team killed his own captain. Huh? Are you a ninja from Konoha? Kakuzu asked. That's right, Li Zan responded. Are you really a ninja from Konoha? Not an undercover agent from other ninja villages? Forget it, it doesn't matter so much. Just kill him. Kakuzu thought indifferently. Earth resentment. The suture of one of Kakuzu's arms split open again, and the split arm carried countless black threads and attacked Li Zan. Why are people in the ninja world so irritable? They started taking action without even saying a few words. Li Zan's chest rose and fell, the breathing method of inflammation was running, the fierce flames escaped from the corners of his mouth, and the blue sun blade appeared in his hand. The breath of fire, the type of one, Shiranui. The fierce flames exploded with the sound of sonic boom, leaving only a string of flames on the way. His figure suddenly passed through the black line of attack, and instantly flashed in front of Kakuzu, waving the Nichiren sword with the fierce flames. Yan cuts diagonally upward. This speed. Kakuzu was suddenly shocked. He is not just an ordinary person. What is this person's identity behind the mask? Use a knife, fire escape without seals. People who don't have this impression. But Jiaodu, who has experienced many battles, has even seen teleportation techniques such as the Flying Thunder God technique. Li Zan's current speed is naturally within the reaction range. Earth release Earth Spear. Kakuzu's other arm suddenly turned into rich black, half raised in the direction of the Nichiren sword slash. But after Li Zan's sun wheel sword slashed down with fierce flames, it only made a jung sound of gold and iron. Can't cut it down. Li Zan realized that this hardened defense was a little too strong. Water escape water curtain. Kakuzu's seal formation speed was completely unmatched by Anbu such as K, and the seal was completed in an instant. A violent stream of water spurted out from Jiaodu's mouth, hitting Li Zan like a water cannon. Water style restrains fire style to a certain extent. Kakuzu thinks that Li Zan is a fire attribute ninja, so he tries to choose more restrained ninjutsu attacks. In fact, no matter what type of ninja Li Zan is, Kakuzu's ninjutsu can cope with it, because he can steal the hearts and chakra attributes of others through the secret technique, Earth Resentment U. So he now has 5 hearts in his body and 5 basic chakra attributes. The breath of water, the shape of the second water wheel. The moment the knife was resisted, Li Zan changed his breathing method, and the rising flames instantly turned into gurgling water. He swung his body diagonally upwards and slashed towards the water curtain that was coming directly. In an instant, the water curtain tent attacked by Kakuzu was cut in half by Li Zan's diagonal slash. Seeing the other party's response, Kakuzu couldn't help but think about it. Does he also have water attribute chakra? But why does this guy not use seals when using ninjutsu? What is the breathing he is talking about? Thunder release pseudo darkness. The moment the water flow was cut, Kakuzu jumped back, mobilized the thunder attribute chakra in midair, released explosive thunder and lightning with both hands, and formed a thunder spear that penetrated everything and struck Li Zan. But when the thunder spear was about to stab Li Zan, he leaned forward and narrowly avoided the thunder escape attack. But the next moment Li Zan dodged, the corners of Jiaodu's mouth slightly raised, showing a smile, and he thought to himself, we succeeded. The lightning spear that was avoided by Li Zan was quickly pierced into the water flow that had been cut by Li Zan. Thunder and lightning were immediately transmitted in the water, and Li Zan's blade was obviously not isolated from the flowing water, so the Sun Lune knife was used as a conductor. The tool was directly charged to Li Zan. Suddenly, Li Zan was attacked by lightning, and his body flashed with lightning. Wind escape press. Kakuzu finished his attack in time, and the seal spit out a powerful shock wave gathered by the strong wind, which quickly fell on Li Zan. Boom! At the moment of contact, a burst of flying smoke exploded. Then the flying smoke gradually dissipated, and Kakuzu stared closely at the scene inside the flying smoke. Dead. Sure enough, we can't fight like this. A plain voice came from behind, and Jiaodu was suddenly startled. When he turned back and found that many inexplicable strange pale lines suddenly appeared on the other person's face. Then let's see if we can fight like this. Kakuzu heard the other party say such words. It seems that these strange pale long lines can enhance his strength. Kakuzu thought to himself, and with a little more vigilance, he took off his bamboo hat and lifted off Hongyun Yingsho's black trench coat, revealing his lightest fighting state. Oh, are you serious? Li Zan held the Sun Lun Dao and smiled gently. Breath of mist. The breathing technique of mist operates, and the thick mist quickly spreads around the Nichiren blade. Seeing the spreading thick fog, Kakuzu felt something bad in his heart. Don't let these thick fogs touch you. He backed away sharply. Wind escape big breakthrough. The wind attribute chakra was mobilized, and he puffed up his cheeks and blew out the air. The next moment, the air suddenly turned into a strong wind, blowing towards the thick fog like a surging storm, seeming to push the thick fog back and disperse it. The strong wind took effect, and the speed of the thick fog spread slowed down. Before he could breathe a sigh of relief, a figure suddenly rushed out of the thick fog that had already reached a certain size. Breath of mist, type 3 large spray. Li Zan was seen holding the sun wheel knife backwards, and the violently compressed mist burst out from the tip of the knife, turning into an extremely powerful driving force, allowing Li Zan to approach Kakuzu at high speed. The moment before he approached, his body spun and turned in midair, and the thick fog escaping from the tip of the knife suddenly turned into clear flowing water. The breath of water, the shape of picking up, the flow of life. Every turn of the body and every turn of the Nichiren sword will expand the scope of the flow of water, slashing towards Kakuzu. But before the tip of the knife touched Kakuzu's body, a monster with a strong body composed of black lines, a humanoid shape, and a blue mask on its face emerged from Kakuzu's body. He took the knife from Li Zan forcefully. But the power of this knife was obviously very huge. The black line monster was directly split apart, and the mask on its face was cut into pieces. Because of the obstruction of the black line monster, Kakuzu also opened a certain distance from Li Zan in a timely manner. The next moment, 3 monsters composed of black lines emerged from his body, with different shapes and masks of different colors on their faces. They stood together with Jiaodu, looking at Li Zan quietly. This is a monster created by Kakuzu's secret technique, Earthly Resentment U. Each monster represents a heart of Kakuzu, and each possesses a chakra of a certain nature. Even if the original Kakuzu is killed, as long as one of them returns to Kakuzu's body, Kakuzu can be resurrected. Since you destroyed one of my hearts, then use your heart to make up for the vacancy of water release. Kakuzu said with a gloomy face. Fire escape 2K hard. The mouth on the mask of an earthly resentment monster opened, and without any seals, it directly mobilized chakra to spurt out an ocean-like fire, carrying the power of burning everything, rushing towards Li Zan overwhelmingly. The strength of the ninjutsu used by the monster built by Yu seems to be completely different from the strength of the ninjutsu used by Kakuzu just now. Water escape. I don't know how to escape from water either. After hearing Kakuzu's words, Li Zan thought silently. He now only has the 4 chakras of wind, fire, earth, and thunder, and he just doesn't have the chakra of water. So Kakuzu's idea is doomed to fail. By the way, today's sign in opportunity has not been used yet. Li Zan suddenly remembered. Use it on Kakuzu. He only has water chakra and earthly chakra that are more useful. But it happened that the water nature was trapped by myself. The rest is just resentment. But Yu doesn't really want it. Li Zan really has no interest in the secret technique of becoming half human and half ghost. Li Zan doesn't think it has anything to do with the transformation between humans and ghosts, but as long as you use the secret technique of earth resentment and you will always be half human and half ghost. And if someone else's heart is installed in your own body, don't you feel uncomfortable? But you should sign it. It doesn't matter if you leave it alone, just don't use it, keep it as a collection. Besides, you may not be able to sign in. When Li Zan stayed in a daze, the overwhelming flames eroded him. The other two earthly resentment monsters suddenly formed a triangle with the fire escape earthly resentment monster, and the mouths on the masks opened wide. Wind escape press. Thunder escape pseudo-darkness. Ninjutsu of two natures spurted out, violent winds raged, thunder roared, and the ocean-like flames complemented each other. Earth escape falling rock. Even Yu Jiaodu lifted up a large rock and slammed it down towards Li Zan. For a time, all directions were covered by attacks, leaving no room for escape. Boom! The violent explosion was deafening, black smoke rolled up, and the violent wind caused by the powerful explosion spread violently to the surroundings. How is it? Are you seriously injured or dead? Jiaodu stared in Li Zan's direction. When the black smoke dissipated, the scene inside the black smoke made him a little shocked. I saw a dark green giant skeleton made of substantial chakra shrouding the root ninja, and the root ninja under the shroud seemed not to be harmed at all. This is... Kakuzu looked at the giant skeleton and felt a little familiar. Suddenly, the memory picture appeared in my mind. That is a memory hidden deep in the back of my mind. It's also this kind of substantial chakra. It's also this kind of giant shape. But the one in my memory is blue, taller, more concrete, and looks like a warrior. Uchiha Madara. Kakuzu remembered, that was Uchiha Madara's pupil technique. As a person who has lived since the first ninja war, he has naturally seen Susanoo, and he saw it from Uchiha Madara. Is he an Uchiha brat? Kakuzu looked directly at Li Zan, looking past the dark green giant skull and clearly seeing the blood-red Sharingan rotating in strange patterns through the root mask. Mangekyo Sharingan. As a man named Kakuzu who had fought against the god of ninja world Senju Hashirama and survived, he had naturally paid attention to the equally famous man Uchiha Madara who was defeated at the hands of Senju Hashirama, and had also seen his fighting appearance. So it's clear how terrifying the Mangekyo Sharingan is. Young voice. Who are the younger and more powerful Uchiha people in this era? Kakuzu pondered. Will it be Uchiha Shisui or Uchiha Itachi? He thought of the two current pillars of the younger generation of the Uchiha family. Who is the figure under the mask? Descendants of Uchiha Madara. Kakuzu murmured with a stern face. What's wrong? Li Zan smiled gently, he was barely playing the role of an Uchiha clansman now. The man who was defeated by the god of ninja world, Senju Hashirama. Hey, I once fought against the god of ninja world, Senju Hashirama. A fight? You mean throwing a kunai from 800 miles away and running away? Li Zan interrupted him directly. Kakuzu remained silent. The next moment, the three resentful monsters surrounding Li Zan quickly returned to Kakuzu. Then, he raised his right hand, and three geese immediately jumped into Kakuzu's arm. As a result, the arm suddenly grew larger, and three masks appeared on the surface. Earthly resentment. Final shot. The chakra of the three properties of wind, fire, and thunder gathers and condenses, exuding an astonishing and terrifying power. Go to hell! Kakuzu roared. In an instant, a dazzling laser cannon formed by the intersection of the three properties of chakra suddenly shot out, like a desperate deathlight that destroyed everything, and bombarded Li Zan. I'm angry. The corners of Li Zan's mouth under the mask were slightly raised, and the dark green giant skeleton covering him crossed its arms to resist the direction of the laser attack. Bang 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 bang. The continuous explosions were loud and deafening, and it seemed that even the heaven and earth were about to overturn. The crackling sound of the laser lasted for more than a minute before gradually dissipating. Kakuzu was exhausted at this time, and there was not much chakra left in his body. After the dazzling laser dissipated, he looked in the direction of Li Zan, wanting to know the result. When his eyes fell on the dark green giant skeleton that was still strong and seemed to have not changed at all, his horns were a little stretched, and his face was full of disbelief and horror. Your most powerful attack has no effect at all. It doesn't even break the opponent's defense. In fact, Kakuzu broke Li Zan Susanoo's defense and even shattered both Susanoo's arms, but Li Zan used a massive amount of chakra to make up for it the moment they were shattered. That's why Kakuzu's chakra laser that lasted for more than a minute seemed to have no effect at all. After all, the amount of chakra stored in Li Zan's body is even comparable to that of a tailed beast. Kakuzu is only at an ordinary cage level chakra level. How can he consume more energy than Li Zan? We can only retreat temporarily. Looking at the dark green Susanoo, Kakuzu made this decision. In fact, Kakuzu also has a GU mode, which is to attach the mask to the surface of the body, and the black lines of the body are completely spread, and the strength becomes stronger than the normal state just now. But, what's the point of fighting if the strongest trick can't break the opponent's defense? And the body has no chakra to support the fight. Lee Zan, on the other hand, discovered the novelty of Susanoo. Susanoo seems to consume much less eye power than Tsukuyomi. Lee Zan thought. On the contrary, maintaining Susanoo consumes more chakra. But the original work seems to mention that opening Susanoo will consume your life force. I don't know if ghost transformation can be solved. But it's better to play it safe. Once you have the eternal kaleidoscope, you can start playing eye magic casually. Just open the Gundam a few times for fun. After thinking about it, Lee Zan looked at Kakuzu and found that he had disappeared. Sneaking away again. Huh, why do you say again? But, you want to run in front of me. A smile appeared on Lee Zan's lips. The extremely sensitive sense of smell suddenly opened up, and Kakuzu's smell and movement trajectory were clearly visible. Lee Zan's figure disappeared instantly and followed the trajectory. That Uchiha brat is really strong. Kakuzu relied on the remaining chakra in his body to jump around in the dense forest. No, this speed is too slow. He realized that he would be overtaken sooner or later if he ran like this. Then, he called out the 3 resentful fish and ordered them to spread out and move in different directions. And go. Then, a fierce look flashed in his eyes, and a hand penetrated his chest and grabbed at his heart. Then pinch it and squeeze it into pieces. Kakuzu stopped breathing instantly and slowly fell down. He died, but not completely dead, because he still has the rest of his heart in the body of the 3 resentful fish. Kakuzu believed that the kid would definitely come after him. As long as the Uchiha kid came after him and saw his dead body, he would definitely think that he was completely dead and leave. In that case, the earthly resentment you that I ordered will come back and install a heart for me to resurrect myself. This is Kakuzu's plan. In his opinion, it is impossible for the other party to know his technique, so the probability of success is 100%. Plan passes. Kakuzu slowly opened his eyes and regained consciousness. Feeling the beating heart, he was delighted. The plan worked. Are you awake? A voice like a nightmare came from the front. Kakuzu sat up suddenly, and sure enough, the masked Uchiha kid was sitting on a big rock in front of him, looking at him with his chin in boredom. You. Kakuzu instantly wanted to stand up and use chakra to perform ninjutsu. I advise you to save it. Lee Zan looked at him indifferently. I don't know how much chakra you have in your body. Kakuzu was stunned when he heard Lee Zan's words. After inspection, he found that there was indeed only a little chakra left in his body, which was not much changed from when he escaped. I destroyed your other 2 hearts, and the remaining wind escape resentment you was stuffed back into you only after I played with it and only had a few chakra left. Lee Zan explained. Kakuzu probed again and found that there was only a heart of wind type chakra left in the body. He couldn't help but darken his face, and asked Lee Zan with a stern face, why do you know everything about my technique, and why don't you know it? Kill me. He was very confused about why the other party knew that the separated earthly resentment you had its own heart, why he knew that the separated earthly resentment you's heart could resurrect him, and why he still kept his life in the end. I just know that there is no way. Lee Zan said calmly. Then why don't you kill me? Ah, do you want to die? Then I'll kill you. Lee Zan suddenly said, standing up and approaching Kakuzu. Ah, Jiaodu was a little confused. Seeing Lee Zan like this, he hurriedly said, I think I still don't want to die. I don't want you to feel it, I want me to feel it. Lee Zan did not stop walking. Ah, at this moment, Kakuzu finally experienced the feeling of his former teammates who were taken away by him. I'm quite speechless, very speechless. Lee Zan continued to approach Kakuzu, but Kakuzu had closed his eyes and sighed about his life while watching the revolving lantern. I saw Lee Zan walking up to Kakuzu, patting Kakuzu's shoulder with his palm, and then said with a slight smile, I'm just kidding. Kakuzu suddenly opened his eyes and shouted sullenly, you are humiliating me. Do you think a scholar can be killed and not humiliated? Lee Zan looked at him with a smile. I don't think so. After hearing this, Jiaodu turned his head and looked away. Lee Zan shrugged. Sign in successfully. Secret technique Earth Resentment U. You can completely turn your body into black tentacles, you can use chakra to control the black tentacles in your body, and you can turn it into a ninjutsu suitable for long-distance attacks. Using the black tentacles, you can also sew flesh. You can use the black tentacles to seize other people's hearts and merge them into your own body to obtain the chakra with the nature of the heart. You can also separate the heart to build an earth hate monster and release ninjutsu with the nature of the heart. The earthly resentment U was obtained, but Li Zan was also planning to hide it as a collection, so it didn't matter. Why did you capture me? Kakuzu couldn't help but turned around and asked when Li Zan didn't speak for a long time. Didn't you attack me first? Li Zan looked surprised. Kakuzu's face twitched. It seemed that he had brought this situation on his own, but he still asked, so you don't mean to capture me? Can I leave now? No. There is no reason why you took the initiative to cause trouble and let you run away in vain. Li Zan sat back on the big rock again. Then what do you want to do? Kakuzu was a little confused. I'm still thinking about it now. Li Zan replied. To be honest, he didn't know what the use of capturing Zhujiao was. Capturing him was just a matter of convenience. Now that he doesn't have what he wants, should he kill him? Li Zan thought. No, there are still some. He suddenly thought that Kakuzu still had something he wanted. That's money. Kakuzu isn't Akatsuki's financial controller, and he really likes money, so he should have a lot of inventory. Although Li Zan didn't have much desire for money in this world, he couldn't think of any role that Zhao Du could play. What do you think about taking money to redeem your life? Li Zan said to Zhao Du. Kakuzu was silent for a while before saying, how much? Li Zan also fell silent. He didn't have much idea about the currency in this world, and he was living on the subsistence allowance at Uchiha's house all day long. Your entire net worth? Li Zan asked tentatively. Impossible. Kakuzu responded with a very fierce expression, much more intense than when he was about to kill him just now. As expected, you are as greedy for money as your life. Li Zan thought to himself as he looked at his response. Speaking of which, in the original book, where does all the money go after you die? Xiaonan's 600 billion detonating talisman. If that were the case, wouldn't you jump out of the coffin? The fourth ninja world war really turned out to be reincarnated. That's okay. The 2/3. Li Zan continued. Impossible. Half. Impossible. 1/3. Impossible. Then you'd better die. Wait a minute. 1/3 is 1/3. Kakuzu finally agreed to hand over 1/3 of his net worth to redeem his life. Kakuzu, who has managed to survive until now, still wants to continue to survive. Just as Li Zan was about to speak, he suddenly felt alarmed and his hair stood on end. It's the intuition that I haven't seen for a long time coming into play. He looked in the direction of his premonition. I saw a person slowly walking out from under the shadow of the dark trees. Wearing a long black coat embroidered with red clouds, he has orange hair, his ears and nose are covered with black nails, and his pupils are round ripples. God's way to pain. The strongest pain of the 6 paths, pain of the heavenly path. Li Zan's eyes fell on the purple rippled pupils of the other party, Furukawa Muha. The leader of Akatsuki, a puppet created by the holder of the Samsara Eye, Nagato, using the body of his dead friend Yahiko. There are 6 puppets in total, symbolizing the 6 paths of reincarnation. Each has a part of the special ability of the reincarnation eye. They have a shared vision. All 6 bodies are under the control of Nagato, and their combat power is extraordinary. I can't seem to beat it now. Through intuition, Li Zan inferred such information. However, the omen conveyed by intuition is only dangerous, not fatal, so it means that even if he cannot be defeated, Li Zan can escape. According to Li Zan's estimation, 6 paths pain's strength has reached the absolute peak of the shadow level, and he could even touch the edge of the super shadow at one time. And Li Zan felt that the bonuses of physical fitness, breathing skills, markings, world penetration, ghost transformation, blood ghost technique, Sharingan, etc. that were superimposed on oneself should also be able to temporarily reach the peak level of the shadow level. There is absolutely no problem in fighting pain. But why not show up sooner? Li Zan suddenly felt a little regretful. If you show up early, you can try to sign the opponent's Samsara Eye. instead of complaining that signing in is of no use to you. Chief, Kakuzu looked at Pain and was a little moved. Kakuzu's money can't be given to you. A large part of his property is organized by our organization. Tiandao Pain said to Li Zan. His face was cold and his words were low. Then what can we do to redeem his life? Li Zan looked at Pain with his chin lowered. He didn't show any humility because he couldn't defeat the other party. Anyway, if he couldn't defeat him, he would just go back and be patient for a while and then come back to teach the other party how to behave. Use this. Pain suddenly threw a small object. The thing was thrown very slowly, and it was obviously not a hidden weapon, so Li Zan caught it. It is a ring with the word, green, engraved on it. Akatsuki member ring. Li Zan was confused. You join our organization, Xiao. Pain said indifferently. So joining your organization is the reward for redeeming his life. Li Zan tossed the ring with a half smile on his face. Isn't this equivalent to you making a lot of money? No, Pain asked. It's okay. Li Zan has no objection to joining Xiao. After all, there are many strong people in it, and the ability level of signing in is much higher, but the people inside are not easy to deal with, and it may be a bit troublesome to sign in, so Li Zan offered a condition. But I have a condition. Explain. I hope that my request for a friendly handshake with the Akatsuki members will not be rejected. Hearing Li Zan's appeal, Tiandao Pain frowned slightly and asked, what are the conditions for the activation of the technique? He didn't know the meaning of doing this, so he thought Li Zan shook hands with others to activate some kind of magic. There are many techniques like this, such as the Konoha clan's Kage Shinmi no Jutsu, which requires extending the connection between the shadow and other people's shadows in order to seize control of other people's bodies. Not really, it's just a friendly way of communication. In order to show that there was nothing wrong with the handshake move, Li Zan went out of his way to hold the reluctant Kakuzu's hand. Look, isn't this nothing? Li Zan shook Kakuzu's arm and smiled. Kakuzu wanted to pull his hand out, but found that the other person's grip on him was too strong and he couldn't pull it out at all. Pain looked at Li Zan and still frowned. Really? Li Zan looked at Kakuzu with a smile. Yes. Yes. The expression on Kakuzu's face was obviously a forced smile. I can't influence whether other members agree or disagree with your request. I can only try my best to help. Tiandao Pain said. Great. Li Zan responded and threw the ring representing Xiao into the space ring. He did not intend to put it on directly. Space ninjutsu. Seeing Li Zan's move, Pain thought in his heart. Xiao sometimes asks members to attend meetings through rings, so try to wear them on your body. Because if you throw it into a certain space, you may not be able to detect the meeting invitation of the ring, so Pain reminded. Is that so? Li Zan took out the ring and put it into his pocket. Seeing that he really didn't want to wear it, Pain didn't force him, and then said, you are now a member of Konoha's roots, but you killed your captain, so you should have no sense of belonging to Konoha. Then when will you betray Konoha? Ah, yes, almost all Akatsuki people are rebels. Li Zan just remembered this. Pain probably invited me because he thought I would definitely betray Konoha. In a while, Li Zan replied. As soon as possible. Pain did not express many opinions. Anyway, in his opinion, it is inevitable for this root ninja to betray Konoha. He has no so-called will of fire at all, and may even have no interest in Konoha. Feel nothing. The Akatsuki costume will be given to you after you betray Konoha. No problem. The members of Akatsuki basically work in teams of two. Your partner. At this point, Pain suddenly hesitated. He was thinking about who should be on his team, and then he suddenly looked at Kakuzu. Zhao, who had been observing the conversation between the two, saw his leader's eyes suddenly feeling something bad. No, boss. Kakuzu, don't you happen to have no teammates? He will be your teammate from now on. The final outcome still did not break away from the bad expectations, Tiandao Pain said indifferently. Ah, please give me more advice in the future, Mr. Kakuzu. Li Zan smiled and shook Kakuzu's arm again. Kakuzu's face was filled with despair at this time. If possible, he would like to travel through time and destroy his former self. I'm calling you mean. I'm calling you mean. Why are you killing your teammates? Now you're on the same team as a fool. Then you have to tell me your identity. Kakuzu could only accept it silently. He is Uchiha Zan, a wandering Uchiha tribesman who went to Konoha 6 years ago. Before Lee Zan could answer, Tiandao Pain answered the question first. So well informed, Lee Zan glanced at him and thought to himself. Kakuzu was thinking about the information about Uchiha Ken in his mind, but found that there was almost no news about him being famous. He was just an unknown Uchiha figure. That's it. Pain didn't say much nonsense, and disappeared instantly after saying this. Going so fast, Lee Zan felt a little regretful when he saw Pain disappearing. It seemed that the idea of signing him could only be postponed. Then he looked at Kakuzu and said, "If you have a mission, please give me news. I will stay in Konoha for a while. I wish you could stay in Konoha forever." This is Kakuzu's inner thought. Okay, this is Kakuzu's superficial statement. Then I'm leaving. Goodbye, Kakuzu. Lee Zan waved before leaving. Kakuzu's mouth under his mask forced a farewell smile. How should I explain my return? On the way, Lee Zan thought. The IDU merchants are indeed dead, but the root members such as Shell and others who were traveling with him are also dead. He is the only newcomer who has just joined the root to survive. This sounds too suspicious. It doesn't matter, just say whatever you want. Anyway, with the trust buff that gives Danzo a blessing, plus the effect of innocent heart, he can believe anything he says. If the level of trust has been weakened, just give Danzo another shot of Beta Tenjin. Lee Zan is free and easy. Although the cooling time of other gods is once every 10 years, each eye will have a chance, so Lee Zan's Mangekyo Sharingan still has one chance left. In fact, the skill, Better God, can be used again in a short time if the host has a terrifying amount of chakra like the god of the ninja world, Senju Hashirama. It's just the amount of chakra this guy Senju Hashirama has. Incomparably terrifying. Even if Lee Zan's chakra amount is now comparable to that of a tailed beast, it is far less than Hashirama's chakra storage. Even things like Hashirama cells are something that many people are flocking to. Transplanting Hashirama cells can give you strong vitality, and chakra is an alternative kind of life energy. From the side, you can see how terrifying this guy Senju Hashirama is, not to mention that he also has the Sage Mode and inherits the body energy of the 6 paths. The consumption of chakra may not be as much as the amount of recovery. Therefore, it is too far for Lee Zan to use other gods in a short time. It's just that Lee Zan won't stop using this skill just because it has a long cooldown time. In his opinion, just use it when you want to, as long as it has a certain effect. So what you're saying is that suddenly a hired ninja jumped out and killed IDU first and then saw through your identity as Konoha roots. After the battle, they were all killed and only you survived, right? Danzo's question, his face was slightly gloomy. That's right. With the effect of Innocent Heart activated, Lee Zan had a clear conscience. The mission is completed, but I have lost one of my capable men. Danzo muttered to himself in a very low voice. K is a powerful ninja under him. He implements Gen's will and follows all his orders. He believes that all his tasks are contributing to Konoha, and his strength is not weak. And then died like this. His sharp one-eyed gaze fell on Lee Zan. You are the only one who survived. The sound is a little drawn out. The root ninja on the side couldn't help shouting inwardly when he saw the situation at this moment. Even the shell is dead, but he can still survive. Something must be wrong, and there are no signs of fighting on his body. There must be something wrong. 9 times out of 10, this is nonsense. Danzo-sama, punish him quickly. Then let you take Shell's place. Danzo gave this order in an old voice. The Gen ninja next to him looked confused. What's going on? Danzo-sama, were you like this before? Why do you believe whatever he says? You don't doubt it at all. Ah, good. Lee Zan did not expect that Danzo would trust him to this extent, so he hesitated for a while before replying. After all, in Lee Zan's view, even if Danzo would trust someone, with his cunning character, it is very possible to kill the person he trusts. In this way, Lee Zan took over K's position and became one of the top figures in Gen. He was even assigned several subordinates to give him orders. Those who don't know think that Lee Zan is Danzo's illegitimate son. Those who know also think so, such as the root ninja guards around Danzo. After Lee Zan returned to the Uchiha family for a few days, on this night, another mission came from Danzo. Danzo-sama asked you to get in touch with the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. He said that this is an opportunity that he has finally given you. Please seize it and try to hold the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails in your hands. Moonlight next, a messenger of the root ninja knelt on one knee in front of Lee Zan and said these words. Contact the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. Lee Zan was a little surprised. In other words, did he allow himself to come into contact with Naruto? Did Danzo get such an opportunity for himself? How could the old man, the third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, agree to such a thing? Didn't he wrap Naruto up tightly and not allow others to get close, leaving him alone to be Naruto's sustenance and support? For a moment, Lee Zan was confused. It was precisely because he understood the plot of Naruto that Lee Zan seemed so confused. In the original work, Danzo wanted to brainwash the Jinchuriki to be absolutely under the control of the village and himself, but was completely rejected by the Sandaime Hokage, and even warned him not to mess around. How could this allow Danzo to let his root self come into contact with Naruto? Can't figure it out. I know, Lee Zan responded. I can't figure it out, so I just don't think about it. Danzo's idea is obvious. Let himself bewitch and brainwash Naruto, and use the power of the Sharingan to completely control the power of the Jinchuriki. It's just that Lee Zan is too lazy to do this. All he wanted to do after contacting Naruto was sign in. He would not give up this free opportunity to sign in. After the news was conveyed, the root ninja left quickly. Brother Zan. Sasuke's young figure appeared in the corner. What's wrong, Sasuke? Lee Zan looked at him with a smile. Sasuke ran up to Lee Zan, looked up at Lee Zan and asked, Brother Zan, who were you talking to just now? No, Lee Zan said in a coaxing tone, and then rubbed Sasuke's head. If Itachi was used to flicking Sasuke's forehead, then he liked to rub Sasuke's hair. After all, it feels nice to be thorny and smooth. Is Brother Zan talking to the air? Is he the kind of chunin you taught me to understand before? Sasuke suddenly asked curiously. Lee Zan's face froze, and then he asked, What do you want from me? Do you want to play games? In the middle of the night, Lee Zan really didn't know what Sasuke wanted to do with him. Sasuke's expression suddenly became a little worried, and he asked Lee Zan, Brother hasn't been home for a long time. Does Brother Zan know what he went to do? Itachi. Hearing Sasuke's question, Lee Zan was stunned for a moment, and then comforted him with a reply. It should be a task that takes a long time. Don't worry too much, just wait for him to come back. Is that so? After receiving Lee Zan's comfort, Sasuke nodded his head to show that he understood, but the look on his face was a bit worried after all. Do you want to play a game? Lee Zan asked with a gentle smile. Play, Sasuke said happily with a smile. Lee Zan took Sasuke's hand and walked to the living room. His eyes gradually became a little deeper. I thought calmly in my heart. It should be soon, the night of the Uchiha family's genocide. Hey, uncle, why don't you sell this to me? I have money. The yellow-haired boy in black shorts shouted loudly, took out his frog wallet, opened it and let the middle-aged man in front of him see the coins inside. The middle-aged man just glanced at the young man with indifference and disgust, then ignored him. No matter how loud he shouted, he ignored him. Naruto, who was ignored, remained silent for a while, silently closed his wallet and put it in his pocket. He glanced at the handsome goggles with nostalgia before walking forward. The villagers on the road gave Naruto looks of disgust and hatred as he walked by. Naruto seemed a little at a loss under these looks, walking stiffly with his head lowered and swinging his arms. At this time, Naruto's parents died and he was an orphan. Because the Nine Tails, controlled by Obito, wreaked havoc and massacre on Konoha, and because the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen blocked the news that Naruto's father was the fourth Hokage and his parents were heroes who protected Konoha, as Naruto, the nine-tailed Jinchuriki, is hated by almost all Konoha villagers. Only the occasional, good Grandpa Sandaime, sends occasional, warmth. Being ignored, lonely and painful. This is why Naruto in the back would use pranks to attract others' attention. Naruto planned to return to his own residence, which was provided to him by Grandpa Sandaime. The living expenses and other expenses were also given to him by Grandpa Sandaime. although it would still be troublesome to buy things because he would be ignored. However, Naruto was still very grateful to Grandpa Sandaime. This also made Naruto establish his ambition to become Hokage in his heart. He tried his best to ignore other people's gazes and walked step by step while looking at the ground. For you. Suddenly, Naruto heard a plain voice coming from behind him. At the same time, an object was placed on his head. What? Naruto felt that the thing on his head was about to slip off, and he caught it with both hands and brought it to his eyes. These are the goggles I wanted to buy just now. Naruto was a little surprised. He turned and looked behind him. He found that behind him was an older brother who was smiling at him. He was a pretty good-looking older brother. The most important thing was that Naruto didn't see the same disgust in the older brother's eyes as in the eyes of other villagers. For a moment, he felt that there was something different about the person in front of him. Thank you. Naruto's voice was trembling. It was the first time he received a gift from the Sandaime grandpa. He was also the first person who smiled and expressed kindness to him. As long as you like it, Lizon said gently. Looking at the young Naruto in front of him, Lizon's nose twitched as he explored the surroundings. 3. The scent of 3 nervous ninjas. They are on a tall building 200 meters away, next to an alley 100 meters away, and in a food store 60 meters away. As expected, Sarutobi Hiruzen had someone keeping an eye on him secretly. After noticing, Lizon did not look specifically at those places, but just let it take its course and talked to Naruto. My name is Lizon, what's your name? Lizon exuded kindness to Naruto. He did not use the name of Uchiha, but used his real name to get to know Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. When he said his name, Naruto's expression and posture were quite confident. After all, Naruto's character is inherently lively and optimistic. Hello. Lizon extended his hand to Naruto. Ah. Naruto held the goggles with one hand, and quickly wiped his other hand on his clothes before holding Lizon's hand. Faced with Lizon's politeness, even though he was lively although he was optimistic, he also seemed a little timid. Hello. Sign in successfully. Congratulations on getting King Kong Blockade. King Kong Blockade is a unique ability of the Uzumaki clan. When used, multiple chakra chains extend from the back. It can not only be used as a powerful offensive weapon, but can also be used to create barriers and seal-tailed beasts. Oh haha, is this a sign-in thing? Lizon was a little surprised to sign into the King Kong Blockade. This is the sealing technique left in Naruto's body by Naruto's mother, Uzumaki Kushina, to seal the 9 tails. It is a powerful sealing technique. But it's not a bad harvest. Lizon was not too entangled. Is there anything to do next? Lizon asked Naruto. Planning to go home. Naruto responded energetically. Then can I visit your home? Lizon asked. Naruto hesitated for a moment. Grandpa Sandaime told me not to have casual contact with strangers, nor to bring strangers home casually. I have given you gifts, exchanged names with you, and spoken to you. We are no longer strangers, but friends. Lizon smiled. It seems like this is true. Naruto clapped his hands and said suddenly, then come with me. After saying that, he walked forward, his head no longer lowered, but slightly raised, and he no longer looked as inferior as before. Friends. Hehe. I have to tell Grandpa Sandaime that I have made friends. Lizon, who was following behind, could hear Naruto's happy murmur in front of him. A lively, optimistic and innocent child, don't hate it. Looking at the happy Naruto, Lizon thought in his heart. Lizon inadvertently and vaguely glanced at the positions of the 3 monitoring ninjas with his peripheral vision. Didn't he stop me? It seems that Sarutobi Hiruzen really planned to let me get in touch with Naruto. What on earth are you thinking? Sarutobi Hiruzen. Naruto's residence was a little far away, and it took more than 10 minutes to walk there. It is a slightly remote and dilapidated apartment. Lizon noticed it specifically, and sure enough, there were no other residents in the apartment except Naruto. As Naruto stepped onto the old wooden stairs, he watched Naruto turn the key to open the door. Welcome. This was the first time for Naruto to invite a friend into his residence. He didn't know how to say it, so he learned a little bit from the words used by those shops outside to welcome customers. Excuse me, Lizon said with a slight smile. It was just that Naruto ran into the house first like a little rabbit and turned on the light. The environment inside seemed a bit messy, with things scattered around and instant noodle boxes piled in the corners. Naruto seemed to feel a little embarrassed, his face turned red, and he ran to clean up. Lee Zan stood in the entrance hall and watched Naruto running around the room quietly. Since entering the room, Lee Zan noticed that the surveillance site disappeared. Apparently it's a little too obvious if you look at the room from the outside. Then, Lee Zan looked directly at Naruto's small figure. The next moment, the scene suddenly changed, and it was no longer Naruto's room environment. The area around Lee Zan became extremely dark, the surrounding ground was covered with running water, and there was a huge iron prison in front of him. Inside the prison, there was a giant black shadow lying vaguely. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.